It does look like we're at a seance.
A seance.
John, you're gonna have to scooch your microphone arm is in frame,
Oh.
so your table is not right.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Scoop. Perfecto. Excellent. And you're still centered for us, which is even better.
Slightly more centered.
Howdy.
Hello.
Hi, everyone out there.
Yeah, you're loud.
Well, I was yelling.
Mr. Peak.
Jack.
Twin Peaks.
Is that why they call him Mr. Twin Peaks? Yeah. For sure. The 3 character types. Smug, in charge, and over it. Could be a leader, doesn't want to be a leader, over being a
At
leader.
different times, it could apply to any of us.
That's why it's the 3 character types.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna scooch our table a bit.
Yeah. Whoa.
Minor adjustments, as opposed to major adjustments.
Major adjustments?
Is that French vanilla?
It's the vanilla hazelnut decaf. So on more coffee.
You can smell the vanilla. I was wondering where it was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Answer.
Hazelnut.
Another daily double.
I can't do hazelnut. Hazelnut does not like me.
No. you went and spoke to the spirit of hazelnut, and it was like, I don't like you.
No.
Get the hell out of here.
Then I tried the spirit of praline, and it's like I'm basically the same thing.
Yeah. Ah.
You think the spirit of hazelnut is the nut but with legs, or do you think it floats in the umbra?
I like to think it has legs but no arms. It's
Okay.
just like one of those sexy
It's like the M&Ms.
It's like a
Oh, no,
can-
wait, do they have arms?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the green M&M.
It's like a tin of beans with sexy legs, but it's a hazelnut.
Fox News canceled a green M&M or something.
Because it was too sexy.
Yes.
I feel like this was some sort of news article. I'm probably spreading falsehoods a bit.
You know.
The point was that M&M's decided to redo the green M&M, taking away her pumps and giving her sneakers.
So
And then people on Fox News started criticizing M&M's for being woke.
Lols.
Oh boy.
they couldn't nut to the nut.
They couldn't. They could try.
I'm just gonna point out that Mia's on my side.
Yeah.
In the eternal war between me and Hazelnut.
Me and hazelnut. I mean, it sounds like Aragorn's challenging us.
Yeah.
So
I feel like,
next week we're gonna have to up our game. Be even weirder.
Okay, that's going on my
Oh
checklist.
no.
Weirder open.
Problem is, I feel like if we try to have a weird cold open, it's not a cold open.
It is
Opener.
in fact on her checklist. Can confirm.
I can make any opener weird if I want to.
That is true.
I've never met an opener I couldn't weird up.
We've played together long enough. We know that that's the thing. Oh, excuse me.
Oh shoot! I was gonna.
Sploo wants to know what you're drinking.
Pew pew pew.
In fact, all 3 of you are drinking very different things.
Very different
Indeed.
things.
Hazelnut decaf started this conversation.
Crown Royal and sparkly water.
And this is lemon ginger drink, tea. What do I say?
Water.
Yay! Water. Dihydrogen monoxide. Yeah, see, Sploo's on your side too. Look at this.
Sometimes I think about
It's true.
throating my mic.
That was the beginning of last session.
Was that?
That wasn't
No,
last.
that was a
last
few
session?
sessions.
No, that was a couple of sessions ago.
All right.
This
fair.
campaign-
I've been practicing since. You want to see?
No, I'm okay. Maybe later.
That's very kind of
Maybe
you.
later.
A bit of hope.
Somebody hit the mute button. I'm going in.
Oh no! Ah! Well,
Yeah, it's here for it.
Thank you, Aragwen.
The sheer girth of the Shure SM7B. That
you
sounds like a
considered doing a
promotional
review? Yeah.
recording for this. The sheer girth of the Shure SM7B will bring the life of your recordings to your
Climax?
uvula.
Oh.
oh. I feel like, yeah, you probably should do some sort of review. That'll be great.
Look, all I'm saying is that my uvula doesn't get nearly the attention it deserves. Hey, everybody, I have a question for all 3 of you.
Hello.
Did you spend any fucking experience? All right,
Great to
3,
meet everybody.
2, 1, just go for it.
Whoa! You're welcome.
Making up for last week.
Oh,
A muttered sass.
I have Huh. Yeah. I bought Intimidation 1. Thank you, Aragwen. And I also was tuned into the fact that I have a lot of XP, which is great. I feel like that'll perhaps justify a large purchase coming your way. Who knows what, though?
Dante's buying up to appearance 5, even though there is no appearance.
John, I want to switch out one of my...
It's a merit, and you can buy it.
Oh, yeah.
Did I tell you I considered for way more than a hot second taking the ugly flaw?
Yeah.
Did I tell you that? Yeah.
I remember that.
And then I was like, but I also wanted to take Charisma 1, so I was like, is that just kind of cheating? Because anyway, the flaw reduces appropriate social
And you're
tools
like,
by
can't
1.
reduce what's already...
It's already 1. That's what I was
already
like, that's
bullshit.
That's really shitty. It means if I ever get into any sort of... Anyway, whatever.
So it turns out that if you're ugly and you have a bad personality, that it can't get any worse?
In this game? Maybe not.
Oh boy. There's a self-deprecating joke in there somewhere, I'm sure, but we'll leave it. We'll leave it on the table.
Well, I hope you enjoy this solo session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Kate and I are gonna go eat 24 samosas in the other room.
No!
Bye!
Save me 24 samosas!
Did you guys order some samosas?
No, but now I wish I had.
It's not.
What
like
if they-
It's not like it's too late.
This is true. Maybe on break.
Maybe on break. What if they show up during break? We can like schedule them to come in at break. That'd be very funny.
Well,
Yeah.
so we ended up weird, except apparently me, who just ended up pervy.
Nothing personal.
Just because I can try to unhinge my jaw.
Just because you can try to unhinge your jaw doesn't mean you should, John, because that wouldn't be very safe. Safety is an important feature of games here on RPG Clinic, and we use these cards to highlight ours. You in the audience don't have cards for your safety, but your safety is important. I'm gonna get to your options in a minute. So we use safety cards. What do they mean? What do they do? The green card here, the play card, represents the fact that despite outward appearances, I am actively, enthusiastically consenting to what's happening in game. The yellow card, the pause card, means, hey, hold up everybody, I gotta make the table aware of something. Once the card goes down, play can continue. The red card, on the other hand, is a stop card. Play must stop. Because we're streaming, we'd probably go to a BRB screen so we can sort out things amongst ourselves. Once everybody is happy and safe and willing to continue the game, play can resume. Like I said before, of course, you in the chat don't have these cards for yourselves, but your safety is important. So what options can you exercise, as is your right? You can whisper us at RPG Clinic, if you so choose. We would see that on the screen, all of us. You could message a mod. In the chat today, we have Aragwen, she who knows 10,000 things, which you could message Aragwen if you wanted to keep any feedback you have anonymous. You could also, of course, leave the stream if you feel that it is important for your safety. We don't want to see you go, but we do want to see you safe. So keep that in mind.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I challenge the validity of an 8 out of 10 segue.
I didn't realize it was a segue until Liz was picking up her card. I
used the
"What?"
word.
I planned
know.
on making it a segue even if it wasn't.
Oh,
one.
nice. Okay.
Anything to stop John from trying to unhinge his jaw on stream.
Like
Thank
an
you.
anaconda.
Bail, bail, bail.
Bail.
Ugh.
Up.
All right. Well,
Doing the old lion face, lemon face.
you know what the handy thing is about our recaps, though? Is
What-
that
What?
if I play a recap, it means
Yeah.
that it mutes our mics.
No. Wait.
Macris successfully subdued Any Percent and left him at Weathered Storm for safekeeping. After seemingly receiving a call for help from Apotheosis, Troyan returned to Downstream to discover the place in flames. Dante emerged from the Umbra and confronted Ken Drops the Mic. It turned out Ken was working with Any Percent to take Downstream and infiltrate Climata. Troyan arrived in time to help her packmate Drops the Mic. They reunited with Macris and called for backup, ceding control of Downstream and Ken to Chantal to the Moon. An injured Apotheosis was brought back to Bar Balthazar to recover. though she managed to mumble instructions to the trio to find her sister, Dusk.
Hell yeah. I forgot about that last tidbit, which is what I was saying just now. Arson already. That's right, Lemon Eater. Welcome. Arson.
Who doesn't love a good arsoning?
Arsonry? Arsenal?
I want
Your
to name a
expression
dog
says
Arson.
more than my words
How-
ever could.
How absolutely dare you? I am the picture of professionalism.
Fight. Fight. Us too, Aragwen. Perhaps just the deluded ravings of a woman who was injured. Who knows? I don't know. Not you. I obviously made a Apotheosis. Oh man, that was a wild session. Okay,
Scott calls Aragorn deluded woman.
Area man. Area man canceled for
So do we have any predictions for today's session before we start?
drinking.
Okay.
You didn't say good. You didn't say cool prediction.
I guess that counts.
Thank you.
An alarm will ring in 12 hours, and I don't remember what I set it for.
Oh that. Oh my
I don't remember
god.
what it was, but I took the note. I was like, oh yeah, I set my alarm for 12 hours from now.
Like macros set her?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, probably to go and fetch any percent.
Maybe. I have no idea.
I hope so.
That sounds right.
It was for any percent.
Great.
Oh boy.
Okay, so
Alright.
drinking and alarms going off.
Yeah, revelations.
Ah.
Personal revelations.
As opposed to the book of.
As opposed to the book of, or as opposed to revelations that touch us all. Like, this bar is about to explode. That would be a revelation that would touch us all.
Hey! Skin revelations.
Oh, like revealing. Okay.
Revealing, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
different as well.
Yeah.
How dat?
All right. Well, let's see if you're right about the drinks anyway. The rest is pretty guaranteed.
Oh, good.
Macros, I don't think you're in lupus any longer. Oh no, you went to sleep as a wolf on the floor.
yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well. I remember the first time that I ran a significant road race. It's known as the Halo Road Race, and it takes place on Mount Royal. You run up, you run around the mountain, and then you run back down. And when I was a kid, I did this, and the length of the race was 1 kilometer. And I remember being absolutely gassed by the end of it because I was trying my hardest. I was pumping my scrawny little chicken legs, trying to make it all the way to the end. And I came in 17th. I think there were about 80 participants, which I was like, okay, and I felt good about myself until I realized that the majority of the participants probably did not care because they were being forced to participate. But I still remember that the moment after the race, when I stopped and was trying to get my heart rate down and was clutching a little card that's had a 00017 printed on it, that I started to realize that I wasn't thinking clearly during the race. There was a moment where I just completely spaced out, and I realized the only thing that mattered at that point was how am I and where am I running to, and am I going in the right direction, and am I going fast enough? And then I was able to think again. Think my tiny little kid thoughts. Sometimes it's important to take a breath. Sometimes it's important to look around and realize that maybe you tried your hardest and that's why you're getting ahead compared to everyone else, because they're not trying. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they could have beaten you had they tried, but they never gave themselves the chance. Sometimes trying, or being willing to try, is enough. Macros, Troyan, congratulations. You can heal your superficial willpower damage. Dante, you destroyed technology last session and Spider is pissed at you. Heal 1 superficial. You've also all had a relatively good night's sleep. You may all heal your superficial health damage, and you will start this at Rage 1.
A lot of willpower.
That you have? Yeah, you have quite a large pool.
That's true.
It is the following morning. If you'll recall, Troyan made the decision not to open Bar Balthazar. In its place, what? What's happening? There are the 3 of you, one of whom is in Lupus, the other 2 who are in Hamid. I believe all of you crashed at the bar, or did you go home?
No, we all crashed either at the bar or in the apartment upstairs.
Yeah.
Where did you put Apotheosis?
In the bed in the apartment upstairs.
Even though she was in Lupus?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Troyan has taken a spot on the bed beside her and has crashed. Probably takes her a while to fall asleep.
I feel like Macros had curled up somewhere. I seem to
Yes,
recall.
Macros was in lupus form, sleeping behind the bar.
And I feel like
her usual, her
Facing
blankie.
if anyone approaches, but like, yeah. Kept
Dante
on
had
3 sides.
crashed out on the couch. Probably also upstairs.
Okay. The following morning, the sun is streaming in. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous day. Unseasonably warm for fall, but at the same time, not unpleasantly so. The sort of warmth that comes from the sun on a day like this has a remarkably calming effect. But when you wake up, there is, of course, the reality of the situation. Downstream is severely wounded. Any percent has been left behind on the mountain in the care of those from the Cairn of the Weathered Storm, despite the fact that they refuse to deal with downstreamers. And Apotheosis is in your bed. Definitely looking a little better than she did before, but still pretty wounded. The equivalent of still having more than half of her health levels taken up by aggravated damage.
Aggravated wolf. Okay.
I wonder what happened to her. Just an idle question. That was me. That was me.
Okay.
You know, you just wake up, poke your head over the couch. Wonder what happened.
Wonder what happened to her.
Could be.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, why not? It's morning. We're in a bar. We're near a bar. It's coffee time. If we're gonna be doing any sleuthing, recovering, figuring things out, it is coffee time. Whether or not Dante gets there first, I think is the only question.
Technically, you can't get to the bar first. Someone's already at the bar.
Right. The coffee first, then, in that case.
Now, does Bar Balthazar have fancy coffee, or is it just like we have a pot?
It has an espresso machine, so they can make espresso martinis. He definitely has a kettle, which means she would probably have a French press for regular coffee.
The biggest French press of all time.
I don't think they serve regular coffee at the bar that
Yeah,
often.
no, that's
so
fair,
it's
that's
just espressos for the drinks kind of thing.
Yeah, totally.
Oh.
That makes perfect sense.
Unless I said something differently before.
I don't think you did.
So you're heading downstairs?
That's right. Dante's going to go downstairs and start making sure that there's hot liquids for those who want them. And is going to check on Macros and then maybe head down and see if Theo is up and about.
Feel like Macros would hit the little toggle on the side of the kettle with her dog paw and then
That's so
fly
cute.
down again. And then when it clicked, probably have gotten up and switched back to Hamid. Morning.
Hey. You feeling alright?
Yeah, they're all right enough. Better after some sleep. It stretches her very long limbs. How about you?
I mean, not great. Spider's pretty pissed because of what went down at Downstream. I can just feel it.
Like, cause the fire, or cause of all the other stuff too?
There were... Dante has a brief moment of, like, flashing back to actively destroying part of Thinking Engine, the spirit. And then just got it, like, 1,000-yard stares briefly.
Not the spirit itself, the way the spirit was
Right.
communicating.
Thank you, yes. Yeah, the screens, are one of the screens around the...
It would have been this would be
That's
a
very
different conversation if you started attacking a Karen spirit.
Yeah, okay, cool. That is good. Makes sense, thank you. I mean, like, part and parcel, but not actively part of it. Okay, cool. There's a lot of shit that happened last night. I think it's probably important that we all catch up.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Things that they did, things that I did, things that we all did.
Yeah. Like, dumping any percent on Withered Storm. I doubt I'm the most popular person there right now.
Well, you're probably not the least popular person either.
You want to race to the bottom?
I do not.
Speaking of which, should we check on Theo?
Yeah, he was okay last night. If he is the kind, he claims to be eyes everywhere. I know he's here right now, and I know he's potentially under threat. But if we know we can trust Apotheosis, or if we think we can trust Apotheosis, then I don't mind necessarily knowing that he's here. I have a feeling he might be able to shed some light on what's been going on at the Cairns. Both of these Cairns hate each other. I know that's true, but there's something that's happened at each that sort of, I don't know. Something that happens at each that would imply... Oh, thanks. That there? That would imply... Not disloyalty, but threats, ways of thinking that have overcome one and the other.
There are outside threats and there is the inside lack of cooperation. Neither Cairn seems to have a collective goal. I get it. We are not necessarily the best kinds of beings to get along as besties, but they're vulnerable to attack, and it's happened.
You only need one hiccup, only one weakness, only one flaw in the system for people to be able to come for you.
Yeah.
And take you down. Break you apart from the inside. Drops the mic. Thinks that he and Any Percent are being smart. That they're taking down Clamata from within. That they are...
If by within you mean any percent going out and slaughtering them all.
Well, the way that...
Check the news.
Yeah, oh, God. Actually, that is a good idea. Here, let me go and check on Theo.
Yeah.
Find out if anything's been going on in the world, so to speak.
Searching for news of slain CEOs, etc.
Slain Clamata members.
It's very strange. There seems to be only one report of a murder occurring previously. Indeed, the CEO of Clamata, what is listed in the news as an environmental research group, has been found slain in her penthouse apartment.
Mm-hmm.
No further details are given. And other than, she grew up X, went to school X, that's it.
No other homicides reported at this time?
Not that you can see in the news, no.
Hmm.
Theo is not in his bedroom. He is just outside. It seems that what Theo's been doing recently he's been lifting kegs and putting them down again in some sort of strange prison-esque bodybuilding situation.
Yeah, whatever works.
But when you go downstairs, he looks up. You all right? You're okay? Everything's all right? I realize that you had a pretty difficult night last night.
Storm's passed for now, or at least let's just say it's in a holding pattern.
I'm not necessarily convinced that there has been a storm that has passed over. Are you absolutely sure about that sort of thing? I didn't really detect a storm until recently, but it doesn't feel like anything has changed.
Theo, more of a metaphor, buddy. Metaphor.
I understand the concept of metaphor. I'm a bike courier and an idiot.
I know, buddy. Eyes and ears. That's you. Isn't it?
Why?
I don't want to rope you into anything that's going to put you in more danger than you're already in. I really don't. None of us do.
Right, because danger is the sort of thing that to you, to me, to everybody else, that's just something that we can avoid.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been in danger before.
Sit at home all day and never be in danger. Troyan would kill me, raise me from the dead, kill me again, if anything happened to you.
Why?
You're under her protection. That's a sacred bond.
I mean, it's not like we're boyfriend and girlfriend or anything like that.
Dante's eyes narrow? His eyebrow also goes up? Are you?
Do you think? I wasn't really getting that
No.
vibe from her, and at
No.
the same time, she has put me up in her bar.
I really don't think you're getting that kind of vibe from her, buddy.
I really didn't think so. So
Okay.
then why are you intimating that? Like, you're the one who makes these sorts of decisions, and if you're going to try to hook us up, like, I understand the matchmaking impulse. I get it. Perhaps we could be compatible, but in another time, in another way, in another universe.
How? We've got someone upstairs. We went after someone last night, another guru. And in the process of taking him down, keeping him from doing any more damage, we discovered there were a few more people at downstream causing damage.
Isn't it a little early in your, hero cycle for you to already hit the Civil War? That sort of happens after, like, the end of Phase 2, doesn't it?
Civil War's already started. We've thrown the whole playbook out the window, buddy.
See, and you wonder why I try to keep myself hidden from people like you.
Yeah, I do. Like I said, I don't want to force upon you any more danger than you're already in. This group, this Twilight, this task force. They were after you. And I understand this. The more we can figure out and learn about the two cairns, why they're at odds, why there might be tension within, the better. So if you know anything...
I've already been asked the question. Do you think that I'd be hiding something from you at this point?
I'd have to ask.
If you want me to try to figure things out, I'm going to have to leave. I can't really find things out from inside here.
Okay. We're going to talk about it. All of us, together.
I'm invited?
It's breakfast time.
What do you eat for breakfast?
I lean in close and I whisper, raw meat. And then I laugh. Excuse me.
Like,
No, I'm just kidding. I'm more of a Wagyu steak guy. Come on, let's go.
I don't get why you think that joke's funny.
Well, because not all guru eat only raw meat all the time. Like, we're monsters. We're not, not monsters. Right?
Ding.
Do you think that I just eat seeds?
That's all I've ever seen you eat. Observation. The first step of science. Can't stop himself from laughing a little bit.
He just walks past you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Up the
Kick one.
stairs.
Danto? Ite?
Like Danto.
Danto. Dante's heading back up to make sure that things are getting prepared. I think he'll order, he's ordering breakfast in for everybody.
Ooh.
Sure, why not?
Sweet.
We're gonna need to have a big old meeting at some point.
Do you have anything that you want to?
If Apotheosis looks like she's waking up, Ryan will ask her how she likes her coffee, if she drinks coffee. Otherwise, she'll make her way downstairs.
At the moment, it doesn't look like she's waking up.
Her breathing is steady. She's
She's definitely
deep sleep.
on the mend. She's just passed out.
So she carefully tiptoes out of the room, closes the door behind her. Oh my god. Putters into the bar and starts assembling the coffee and espresso things.
Sweet.
Theo sits at his usual place at the bar. Just looking between the three of you, there's a mixture of anticipation and trepidation in his expression.
Coffee, Theo?
I don't know. I'm feeling a little cooped up.
I was just about to say, it's been a while. I can imagine.
Coffee. Yes, I would absolutely adore some coffee.
Do you take anything in it?
Espresso, straight up, 2 shots.
Short or long?
Short.
She pulls 2 short shots and passes it to him.
They're gone. The instant that they're put in front of him, and then he goes, "I'm sorry, I should have waited. I apologize."
You're not cooped up here, you know. I made a point of telling you that when we set you up downstairs.
I'm not blaming anybody for feeling cooped up. I just am. At this point, it looks like the heat might be off. Nobody's busted down the doors of your bar recently, have they?
Or maybe it's because they're smart and they know that there are 3 of us defending it.
We haven't heard anything from these people, other than a reference made by our friend, Any Percent. Friend.
What reference?
What?
You were saying, Macris, when you were trying to talk some sense into the guy before all that shit went down, that he seemed to know more than he should have.
Yeah, he for some reason knew that the person that was attacked by the squad was a he.
Maybe
That's
just
a 50-50
yeah,
guess,
maybe just a
but
good
he
chance.
sure seemed upset when I called him on it.
I mean, the patriarchy is still alive and well. There was just some sort of absolute assumption that anybody who is going to be tracked down by any sorts of special forces would obviously be male,
Sure.
but
Could
somehow I doubt it.
Yeah.
News of the CEO is out. Quickly show the top of the article to people.
Just her.
Nothing on any other homicides overnight. Doesn't mean they didn't exist, just means they haven't been found yet.
Right.
Well, they've been cleaning them. They're
Cleaning up after them.
cleaning up after themselves.
Maybe only one of them was taken out.
He came back covered in blood, you said.
Yeah.
Even after he'd cleaned himself at the condo.
Yeah, so he did something. Maybe he just, I don't know, cut himself.
Went out for a good fight. Who knows?
On a fence that he was hopping or whatever.
Where did he stash the computers? They weren't at his place.
No.
Cut to his place where the third floor roof has collapsed onto the second floor because somebody busted some pipes and just water has
Hooray.
been streaming out. You didn't turn off the water or anything like that,
Well,
did you?
I mean, it was an emergency.
I mean, I bundled him up and stuff to leave, so I would have at least turned off. Oh, but
You
like,
would have
we
had to
broke
find
pipe.
you would have had to find the water shutoff valve and turn that off.
I probably would have flipped the breakers off. For the lack of electrical fire. Like, I don't know. That I probably
up
would have
the
done that.
protector
I would have turned the
instantly.
breakers off. But yeah, no.
Nice.
Theo, you said when we spoke to you before that you did not believe that Climata and this Project Twilight were in league with each other. But what if any percent is the connection between the two of them? What if he knows what both of them are up to and he's playing them both?
It's possible. But you have to understand, I don't really know any percent. Nor do I really know whether he has any knowledge of Project Twilight at all.
But he might know about you. In which case you need to get a hell of a lot more interested in him.
That's a disturbing thought.
Yes.
You haven't told anybody about me, have you?
No. People are curious.
About me?
When they hear that somebody was almost taken in NDG, they want to know who it is. Want to know why they haven't heard of anything, why it's been hushed up. People are asking questions.
Lots of people get taken in NDG all the time. Mostly to really, really bad bars. Hey, do you remember the Maz?
Ugh.
The Mars?
Yeah, it was
Alright.
depressing dive.
Yeah.
It didn't attract the youth at all. It was full of people who were too self-aware enough not to want to drink alone. So they drink separately. Cheapest beer you could find.
How did it smell?
Regret.
Dante subtly tries to just sniff the air in Bar Balthazar to be
It
like,
smells
does it smell like?
immaculate.
I was gonna say, does it smell like regret in here?
Labatt Blue. It smelled like Labatt Blue.
I'm glad I never went there.
But listen, if you brought a guest over, maybe it would be better if I not be here.
You're thinking of going out?
Either that or you're just going to have to lock me in the
We're
basement.
not keeping you prisoner.
I don't see why, if I'm here, that there isn't going to be questions about why I'm here on a day that you're closed. Unless, it turns out that I'm your long-lost brother, or... Dante seems to think that we're a thing.
What? That we're a thing?
Yeah.
No, I didn't say that.
Dante said that.
I did not say that.
Well, you basically implied
No,
it.
I didn't. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. One of these.
For breakfast, we have frozen Eggos. Maybe some hash browns.
There's a knock at the door as my delivery arrives.
Just yours.
Well, no, mine. Like I ordered for everybody. Fuck
Single
off.
breakfast
Like, can you...
What are you
I
guys
made
eating?
someone drive all this way.
Macris's head snaps towards the door. We gotta come.
Food.
Penny.
I did a workshop for high school students yesterday, and I had to take a break at 11:20 so that people could order food from ride share services.
Right.
Universes.
And apparently
Wild.
they have a rule at the school where you're only allowed to do that on Thursdays now. And I'm like, you're allowed to get food delivered to you at a school? Like, what?
Yeah.
I mean,
We were born in the wrong time, man.
we were walking distance to a convenience store, a place that had plate-sized burgers, and a different convenience store that had poutine. So that school that you were at isn't walking distance to anything.
Correct. That is true. Man, that's...
I was just not allowed to. It was like you brought food or you didn't eat.
Yeah. What else are you supposed to
That
do?
was usually the case.
Dante goes to the door and brings in food, assorted delivered food for 5. Just wanted to make sure we had some sort of sustenance. I didn't want to step on any toes, Troyan, sorry.
No, I'm not particularly adept at making breakfast, so order away. Theo, if you leave here, where will you go?
The sky.
I was thinking, I told Theo we don't want to put him in any more danger, but this touches on all of us. Any percent drops the mic.
Look, you're welcome. I'm not gonna kick you out. You do what makes you happy, Theo. I'm not gonna force you to stay here either. I'm not.
No.
Y'all can do what you want.
I'm just wondering if Theo's gonna stretch his wings. Maybe there's something that he can try to find out for us. Or for all of us. Like I said, the more we can learn about possible connections to Twilight, the safer you'll be, the safer we'll be. Or the more of a drop we'll have on him anyway.
I don't want him putting himself in more danger because of us.
That's right.
Macros just grabs the closest helping of food, whatever it is.
A food TM.
Food. TM.
Not caring who it may have been destined for. Start digging in.
No.
I don't think you need to worry about my getting caught. I'm not going to go back to my home. There's nothing there for me anyway. But I'll see if I can do some scouting.
If we hadn't been there at your place the other night, what would have happened to you, Theo? Would you have had means of getting away?
I'd like to think that I would have had a daring escape. That I could have taken on every gun-toting member of that SWAT group. But who am I kidding? I don't know what the future was. Or the past is.
Wherever you go, you'll call us if you need help.
I'm going to the sky. No one's catching me there. Look, maybe wandering around these streets as a wolf is not exactly something that you can keep a secret, but I'm just a raven.
You have our numbers.
And you know where we are. Just keep your ears out. I know that's what you like to do. Because we're in the process, Theo, of trying to figure out everything we can in relation to what the fuck went down at the Cairn of Weathered Storm and now downstream. And if they're related. Klamada's up to some absolute shit. And we're gonna bust them wide open, crack them open like an egg. But if we do that, and we miss out on who's behind it, it's just gonna keep coming back, like it already has.
Oh, I know. Obviously, they need to be stopped. They need to be wrenched apart.
So, if you do keep your ears open, if you hear anything about the guru in the city, the politics, the who might be working for whom.
And any further connections between Twilight and Clemata?
I'll see what I can find. I owe you that much.
Don't think of it as owing us anything, please.
No, of course. I mean, what are friends for? Or more than friends, except we're not.
Yeah, he mouths, Dante mouths, just friends, buddy, just friends. And then feels a little bad about it.
Oh, you have fresh hash browns. She's digging through the bag.
Okay. It's like fresh ass. What do you
fresh
want?
ass. Oh, you have fresh ass.
Theo gets up and he heads towards the door. You're gonna lock it behind me, I guess, or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Bar's not open today. He said as if he owns it. Sorry.
Macros digs out her keys and pulls one off. If you're up for making a copy while you're out, go for it. If not, here's your way back in.
Theo takes the key, and for a very brief moment, he looks at it as if it is the most treasured thing he could possibly get.
Incredible.
Shing.
Is it shiny?
Probably. It's
Yeah,
relatively
it's pretty new, right? Yeah,
I
they
probably
would've-
didn't have keys before Troyan took over, so.
Doors open all the time.
Don't worry, I'll make a copy. He puts it in his pocket, and then he takes it out again, and he looks at it for a second, and then he puts it back into his pocket.
Incredible.
Corvids and geese. They like their keys.
Honk.
And then he steps out. He walks a ways down the street, and then he disappears from view from the windows.
All right, team, gather up. We need to figure out what's going on.
When Apotheosis wakes up, we can ask what she remembers from yesterday.
I should probably return to Weathered Storm.
Quote unquote, pick up any percent.
Yeah.
I think I owe you guys a bit of an explanation about, well, not an explanation, but what went down. I told Troyan, but only briefly, that I came out of the Umbra in the heart of the cairn at Downstream, and Drops the Mic was there. The way he was speaking, the fact that he said that he was working with any percent, the fact that he trusts him, it was driving me to distraction. It was driving me crazy. And then he didn't let me in on his plan, but he told me that his idea, that what they were working towards, was eliminating members of the Clamata board until the two of them could take over. Infest it from the inside. Kind of like what Clamata is doing. And I just couldn't hold back. I think you're right, Macros. I think there's a real problem of leadership at Downstream. A lot of infighting. People have different visions for the future. That's always been a problem there.
Well, if so many people didn't trust Apotheosis' way of managing things, I know she wasn't the official leader, but she felt like the de facto one.
There's
Then
another.
why didn't anyone challenge her? Why didn't anyone take the leadership themselves?
Maybe they did. We don't know what happened there. There may have been a challenge. That's maybe why she's hurt.
Could I have you, Scott?
Yeah.
I want you to roll your intelligence politics, please.
Ooh. Okay. Good. Whoops. Six successes? There's a crit in here. It's ridiculous.
That was right.
Hey!
What was right?
What did the bot say?
Don't.
Okay. Later.
Downstream isn't officially a Glasswalker cairn, nor is it officially a Bonar cairn, but those are the two tribes that make up the majority of those who would consider it home. It is unlikely that a challenge would have taken place inside a boardroom that would have come to such violence. Glasswalkers and Bonars have ways of settling scores, and some of them absolutely could lead to violence. But it's not like a challenge happens and then they just fight wherever they happen to be standing at that point in time. Unless something is wrong, or unless tempers flared very, very specifically.
Right.
But it would be very strange for that sort of thing to happen, especially because if she was injured to that point and then crawled underneath a table, they wouldn't have just abandoned her. Not in a boardroom. That would be strange. Oftentimes, challenges for the leadership of a cairn could also take place in ways that aren't necessarily combat-related.
Right, sure.
Glasswalkers are fond, in fact, of puzzles or games as forms of challenges.
And bone gnawers, being who they are, wouldn't necessarily, like, I think traditionally favor like a direct approach in terms of challenging either, right? Like, not necessarily, I'm not trying to paint everyone with a broad brush, but I can see how that wouldn't necessarily be a usual mode of doing things.
There's the sound of somebody moving around upstairs. Normally it wouldn't be audible, but with the bar as empty as it is right now and with the three of you on somewhat alert, you can hear that somebody has gotten up.
I'll be right back.
As much as pretty sure that any percent was in the wrong, I don't want to rule out the possibility that Apotheosis isn't perfect.
There are still questions. A lot of them. And she leaves to go up the stairs and knocks slightly on the door before going in. Will knock slightly on the door and waits.
Yes?
Is Troy and May come in?
Yeah, I stole a towel.
Steal as many as you like. Pokes her head in.
There is a woman standing wrapped with a towel wrapped around her, but clearly has not showered or bathed or whatever. There's some matting of blood in her hair, and her right arm definitely looks like it's hanging incorrectly.
Oh, yeah.
There's bruising in a bunch of other places that is, for a guru, having a bruise that lasts for longer than 12 hours is pretty
That's a
significant.
gnarly
so
bruise.
it had to have been a pretty gnarly bruise. Right now, it's looking like bruising as opposed to, oh, so I see you are less woman than bruise.
Oh, God.
She's still clearly, like, kind of messed up.
I can make you a makeshift sling for your arm.
I was gonna try just seeing if a shower would work. It's not how guru work. It's not like, oh, apply water to...
They're the opposite.
They're not shrink
gremlins.
Yeah.
Would you like some help?
No. I will be downstairs soon. I might need some clothes.
Yeah. And she goes to the bed and drags out like one of those under bed drawers, which has just a bunch of like extra things in her style, basically. Whatever you want from here. Help yourself. How do you take your coffee? Do you drink coffee or tea or neat gin?
However Dante takes it. And she gets into a shower. She is, like, kind of running on autopilot, not paying that much attention to where you're moving around. The water turns on, and then with a, like, the towel gets thrown over the side of the shower curtain. She does not close the door. Or rather, she closes the door of the... I don't know what kind of shower you have. Bath, shower?
The door is open.
Yeah, there's
The bathroom door is open.
Yeah, I think it's probably just a standing shower with a little glass.
Yeah, so the
sliding
door is closed, but she turns it on. It's like, oh crap, and then tosses the towel over the top of the
Right.
shower, and then you can hear just the piles of just like mist and vapor just clearly she's running the shower as hot as she possibly can.
She digs through another under bed drawer to where spare sheets are, rips off a strip from one of them, and ties it as a sling, and leaves it on the bed next to the clothes that she had said could be used. And then she fucks off.
As you fuck off, you can see that Apotheosis is sitting in the shower, and just like, and you can hear her breathing quite deeply, just.
She raises her voice slightly. There's various painkillers under the sink. There's a sling on the bed. Just, we're downstairs, but take your time.
There's no answer.
Weirdness, that sounds delightful.
I was looking for a sheet, and I found kitten.
I can't
I
tell.
have done that before, actually.
For sure.
Yeah. You're like, oh,
Hello.
what are you
What?
doing here?
That's where you were hiding.
Yeah.
Heads back downstairs and starts preparing whatever the hell Dante is drinking.
Dante is drinking a PSL
Yay!
because it's autumn. He is drinking a latte.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
sure.
With cloves
With
and cinnamon.
with various autumnal spices. Yeah, correct. Don't you dare. Don't judge me.
After, very shortly after you come down, you can hear that the water is turned off. What kind of clothes would you have left behind?
Jeans, trousers, sweatpants, hoodie, blazer, tank top. Mix and match potential, but that's what she's got.
Okay.
It's her crashing at the bar capsule wardrobe.
Apotheosis comes down wearing sweatpants and a blazer, where she's clearly wearing nothing under the blazer other than her own skin. Her hair is still dripping wet, and she seems to have taken advantage of the sling.
Okay. Try and hands her coffee.
She tries to take it first with the arm that is in the sling, and then no. Thinks about it again, reaches out, takes it with the other hand instead. Sits down in one of the booths.
You look pretty fucked up, Apotheosis.
I feel pretty fucked up, Dante.
It's been a night. That's for sure.
You haven't been kidding around. She takes a sip. How does Dante? I guess you made another pumpkin spice latte?
A regular
It's just a
latte.
regular latte.
Yes. Yeah, to be
It's
clear.
just a regular latte?
Yep.
She takes a sip, and then seeing that it's still quite hot, she thinks about it for a second and then puts it down to let it cool off for a second. And then looks up at the three of you. How is downstream?
It's in one piece.
Where's any percent?
Weathered storm.
Why?
Downstream was too far. Wasn't sure I could get here with him in his really injured state without drawing attention.
You've killed him.
Not yet.
Bringing him there? You might as well have.
They said they'd keep him. I'm going to owe them probably a half dozen favors for it.
And you did all this without finding Dusk. I don't understand.
Nobody knows where Dusk is, Apotheosis. We just don't know.
They weren't going to listen to us. How could you have persuaded them for anything without Dusk?
I asked.
There's just this like bzz, error 404 looks like in her eyes. She's just like, what? And then she pulls the blazer a bit closer around her and takes another sip.
An honorable request. Wasn't glorious, but it was wise. And I think they saw that.
There's a bit of a cachet in being independent.
I am not used to hearing wisdom from those there, but I'll take it.
Is Dusk the only reason why there was some kind of civility between you before?
Dusk is the only one who managed to find a way to speak to both our cairns with a better moon dancer than I ever could be.
Do you remember what happened yesterday?
I don't remember how I ended up here.
What's the last thing you do remember?
Trying to crush the skull. That's it.
Whose?
Ken's. Drops the mic.
There's a pretty loud clack as Dante sets his drink down like far too hard.
Who challenged who?
There was no challenge. There was no time for a challenge. He needed to die.
Did he tell you what he's doing?
No. But he's been patching Thinking Engine. Nobody touches the cairn spirit without the express permission of the rest of the cairn. There was no reason for him to do it on his own. No reason at all. And when I asked him for one, he wouldn't give it to me. So I attacked. But there were more than one. I was hit from behind.
There's only one other person there, Apotheosis.
Who?
I'm gonna say it, but I want you to know that they would have said it too.
Well, then have them say it.
Code 902.
Impossible.
He was
He
there.
was there. He shot at me when I forced my way in.
And
And I threw a door at him.
He wasn't home when we got
Yes, you do.
There is a chance that any percent whacked you over the back of the head and fucked off.
When did you call me?
So let's just do a timeline.
Yeah.
Reconstruction here for a
Let's
second.
see if it's possible.
Uh,
Word aboard.
it would be impossible for any percent to have been there
Okay.
because you were, all three of you had gone to his place
Mm-hmm.
and then left. Macris stayed behind, but then you both went to downstream. You left downstream to head back to, or Troyan left downstream to head
Right.
back to Any Percent's when Any Percent was there.
Yeah.
And she got the phone call halfway there from Apotheosis where you heard signs of a struggle. So it could not have been Any Percent.
Okay.
Makes sense.
This timeline is clarified. We in the fiction. Could there be someone else?
No.
To the Moon was apparently sleeping.
Yeah, they're in control of downstream for now.
And Ken.
Ken's in control?
No.
No.
Okay.
They're in control of downstream and Ken. They're in control of Ken. We bested Ken.
Ken should be executed. But I suppose he knows things we might be able to It could not have been Code 902. I just don't see how that's possible.
Why does everyone believe that he's incapable of doing things that are wrong?
3 days ago, would you have said the same thing about any percent?
I mean, you yourself said Peter's the nicest guy, so you tell us, Dante. Fred and I don't know him. Don't know any of them.
Tell them.
Sorry, I've gotten 5 missed calls and voicemails from a number I don't recognize. I will be right back just to check it.
We're gonna hit a break.
Oh, thank you. Just to make Erwin
It's starting to
flail
piss me
a
off.
bit more.
Let's
For
hit a
sure.
break.
Yes.
John, do you
For a
need
second.
anything from the outside world?
No, thank you.
The outside world. Sorry, Erwin. It's me. No, I'm good, thank you.
Grandpa's.
Yeah. So, Aragwen, yeah, I'm the one making the calls to Liz so that we would call the break so that I wouldn't have to do the thing. So you would keep flailing. I have a 1-800 number just for... Anyway. So, it's all good.
You just have it programmed in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I'll just throw this up there. If for some reason this means that we have to end the session, we'll let you know. It is possible. But otherwise, we'll stay on break. I won't end the session if Liz needs to talk to somebody for 15 minutes or whatever just to clear something up. Then we'll just take a long break and then come back to it. But hopefully, this is something that can be easily arranged.
I hope so too. Weirdness. That would be a best case scenario. Excuse me, you've won a lifetime of free samosas. Excuse me, I'm trying to get in touch with you about your samosas extended warranty.
Hey, if you're a
I'll be
Taylor
back.
Swift fan, go ahead. If
Oh,
you're a
yeah.
Taylor Swift fan and you aren't listening to Taylor's version of her songs, are you a traitor? It's kind of what I'm trying to figure out here.
I think I'd heard recently-ish this whole thing about the fact that she's re-releasing her stuff. So
Yeah.
I think the idea is that that's how she's getting the money for her releases, rather than...
Well, because she doesn't own the masters of the originals.
exactly.
She was kind of screwed over, as
Yeah.
far as I can tell. And so she offered to buy them back.
Mhm.
They refused. So she said, fine, I will re-record them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because she still owns the rights to the song,
Yeah.
just not the masters. And so therefore, that's why I'm curious that if you're like, well, I'm not bothering to listen to Taylor's version, I'm going to listen to the original version, then that means that the money isn't going to Taylor Swift, it's going to somebody else. And I'm wondering whether that, whether among the fandom, does that mean that Taylor Swift fans are like, oh, it makes you a second tier fan? Okay.
I kind of only became aware of this in the last couple of weeks, so if I ever seek out her stuff, I'll try to remember this. It is, something you have to be in the know about.
Someone asking about the Taylor's version?
Yeah.
I put your drink on the counter in case you wanted to
Thank you.
trade a
Oh.
refill.
I mean, I am not a Swiftie. I enjoy Taylor Swift songs, but I'm not
Just wanted to
up on the fandom. So the
Yeah.
question is, if you listen to the original versions as opposed to Taylor's versions of these songs, does that make you somehow a worse fan?
It doesn't really make it financially. It's not going to affect her. If we're being honest.
She's a billionaire at this
Yeah,
point.
I will say I make a point of trying to listen to the Taylor's version so that
Okay.
I'm supporting the version that is owned by her.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
a personal preference.
I do because
but
there's no reason not to. I was just
Exactly.
wondering whether if somebody's like, no, I'm listening to the originals because I like them more, whether then other Taylor Swift fans would tear off their friendship bracelets or something.
no, I don't think so. Just I do agree though that I find the re-released, the remastered ones are better. I find her singing has come a long way too.
Sure, she's advanced as an artist.
Yeah, sure.
All of us do.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Some of us
Surely.
flatline a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely know a couple
Trailer.
of people who try to coast,
Yeah.
and that ends up being an issue, or people who refuse to put in the work to improve.
Yeah. I've heard it said, and I've probably said it on stream before, that there's some people sort of philosophize that every artist has one thing they want to say, right? And then once they've found that perfect way of expressing it, they just kind of go downhill because they've achieved the thing they want to say.
Like, I want to be able to say to people out there that I
Right.
can deep throat this Shure SM7B.
But once you find the perfect way to show that, and
which I can't,
demonstrate
because I actually don't think I could.
it, I don't want to.
If I removed this,
I don't want to force you into the situation where you feel like you need to prove yourself, but I don't think you can.
no. But I do believe that Forbes has just stated that they predict that Taylor Swift has become a billionaire.
Oh yeah,
Probably.
that would
which is
surprise me at all.
massive.
I know it's
It's a
incredible.
ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah. This is important.
I don't know if the members of No Doubt are billionaires.
Hey, no doubt.
I don't think No Doubt are billionaires.
No, I don't think so either.
Uh,
Hey.
Don't speak. I have so much fucking money.
it is
Of course,
even
weirdness.
funny.
Mia, it's really more about the concept that I genuinely don't think that I could get my teeth far enough apart. For this, it's huge.
It is quite a large microphone. On our tech tour,
We
The
can
crowning
I'll
glory
get
will
my
be-
calipers and
Yeah, we'll
that's
actually
the
measure that.
exact
That'll be great.
size. Yeah.
then it'll be like, open up, John, and we'll caliper your. Oh boy.
I will cease this discussion.
I mean,
Eric, when only when
because he's
certain people
he's a
start at
dog,
night.
you know. You put something there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's how dogs are. You're right.
Put something in front of a cat and they'll want to swat at it.
That's right. This hand.
This is something
right
that
away.
I do when I'm dressed in a dressing gown or a bathrobe.
Okay.
I will take the little the sash around it and I will dangle it, and I will sometime, depending on who it is, I do get swats at.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like a cat.
Right. That's really cute. You're looking at me significantly because you're right. I probably would do that too.
Just don't have claws so I can't get my claws stuck in it. Because that's what happens. You do that and like 2 seconds later the cat's like,
I keep waiting to come home to like one of our cats hanging off a screen like halfway up the wall, being like, "Hey,
yeah,
I don't know what to do." I'm like, "Unhook it."
yeah,
It's funny because
yeah.
they would know what they're doing. Good times. This way.
I mean,
Yeah.
3 missed calls were like duties payment for delivery, which
Oh.
is not urgent, and yet it's urgent in the sense that it's delaying my delivery because I haven't paid it. Can I take another few minutes?
Yeah, do you
to
want
do
to use
that?
my computer? I think it's on. If the screens are off, just hit the buttons and use the private window and do the thing.
I'll be as fast.
For sure.
Because then you can also make sure you're actually paying it and it isn't a really intense scam.
That's actually a good point.
Your UPS, FedEx, Intelcom delivery.
Hello, I am calling from Fed
Please.
Up.
Yeah.
Yeah, if FedEx and UPS merged, right?
Yeah.
Classic.
I can't decide which carrier I like the least. I know the ones that I like the
Ooh.
best.
Okay.
It's Canada Post.
Sure. We have a lot of pride here.
It's not even about pride. It's
Oh,
they,
it's just they
they
just have
don't
the best.
fuck us over compared to the other ones.
Yeah.
That is actually a
At
good point.
worst, Canada Post will be like, well, we tried, so we delivered it to the pharmacy down the street.
Yeah, it's at our pickup.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, FedEx will straight up be like, well, we tried. Now it's your problem.
Yeah.
Well,
where
Pure Later
is it?
used to be the worst, and now they're kind of getting better.
Yeah.
The Pure Later used to be, okay, we've tried delivering your package. No, you didn't. And then it's now at our depot that you can't really get to via public transit.
Middle
Oh,
of nowhere.
I remember.
It's
Right.
the worst. It's like you could take like 2 buses from a metro station that like pass every 45 minutes. So like, you know, you could get there and then stand around the fucking depot for another 45 minutes until you can go home.
Plus, you better hope that that package isn't so big that you can't.
Yeah.
Oh,
take
you
it onto
can't
a
take it
bus.
home.
Yeah.
You're hurt. Yeah.
Right? Like, because not everybody has access to a car. And maybe the reason why you're having it delivered to your home is because you don't have a car.
That's. Come on, guys.
Every fucking time.
But they are much better about it now. They
Yes.
no longer have that policy.
Competent.
Whereas FedEx and UPS are also like, oh, are you getting charged duty? That's cool. We'll take care of it for you, but we're charging you an extra like $30 in order to handle it, which is like, come on, man.
Yeah, more and more places are starting to have delivery lockers, which is cool. At the moment, our building has a Canada Post delivery locker, so it's only official deliveries.
That's right. Same with us where we are. Yeah. Which is
Cool.
Yeah, which is cool, but not, perfect. It's not a perfect solution. I love the storefronts, the random storefronts that are also pickup locations for deliveries. There's like shoe stores, electronics store, just like a random store that's like, oh, I can make an extra few bucks this month to be a pickup location. Yeah, I have some room in the back.
There's mail that I have to
So
get out
weird.
that we haven't even done yet. There's mail that we have to send.
Ooh,
Oh, yes.
special mail.
Yes.
Special
I'm
mail.
putting it on my show.
Stamps, or
Oh, we have some stamps.
well, or at the very least, we got to send it out.
Right.
That's not being cryptic or anything.
Nah.
Um,
Y'all know we love cryptic things around here.
Package lockers are cool, especially the ones where you like either scan your barcode or punch in your code, and then it just opens a random locker.
Remember that.
I mean, I had at my old apartment complex when I was living in my super secret location, there was a gigantic room that was like the size of, I don't know, like this apartment practically.
Whoa.
And it was just filled with lockers of different sizes. And when you got a delivery, it would text you a number and you'd walk in, you'd punch the number into a machine, and then one of the lockers would just open. It was kind of like a game show.
That's kind of
IKEA
awesome.
has it now, similarly. Canada Post and pharmacies have some sort of agreement where that basically is where you can. We used to have actual post offices that you would go to.
Well,
for
we still
stamps
do.
and
There are
sending,
some.
but fewer and fewer because at some point there was a negotiation in order to have more pickup points and more places to find stamps. Was that pharmacies would have these counters that are like tiny post offices within the pharmacies, like a back counter, and it's also where you can have PO boxes. It's also if they don't, if they try delivering something to your door twice, then they'll leave it there and. Most people have a pharmacy close to them, so it works out well. And thankfully, it seems brand agnostic. Like
Yeah, it doesn't have to be only Jean Coutu as
Yeah,
opposed
exactly.
to Pharmaprix or...
Yeah, very much so.
It's whatever pharmacy is in a given neighborhood or X kilometers or half kilometer. So, yeah.
No.
Hi.
It even refused to recognize one of the tracking numbers. I was like, oh, great. The other one? I'm like, but I can see the tracking history. Why won't you recognize? FedEx.
Is it all good?
It's
Like,
half good.
Half good.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Maybe that means the other one hasn't been processed yet?
They both, like, I can click on the hyperlink to take me to the tracking, and yet when I take that tracking number and put it into the paid duties website, it doesn't get recognized.
There may be no duties on that one. Or they haven't processed it yet. That's my experience.
Like, it
Yeah,
has
but I
no
got
notification.
3 voicemails.
Yeah.
FedEx.
Also, it's a Sunday. Why the fuck are you going?
I know, and they're like, it'll be delivered tomorrow if you pay us. We're holding them hostage.
Huh.
My mishandled package.
Are we ready to
Yes,
handle
thank
No,
you
no,
so
no.
much.
the package that is Dante's life?
Yeah.
Tell them.
I'll try to give you as much of the story as I can, and I'll try to be as... I'm no Galliard, but I'll try to be as neutral as possible.
If you want to leave this to a Galliard, I'll tell them myself. That's up to you.
It's my life. After my first change, I met Code 902. He was a theurge with experience. He was someone who took me under his wing. He taught me how to commune. He taught me how to pass into the Umbra. He taught me things. And I looked up to him for that. As I got closer to Spider, to being a glasswalker, it felt like he didn't like that. He didn't want me to become, part of the weaver's web, as it were. He tried to warn me against it. He tried to make it seem like he knew the way to avert the apocalypse or move past the apocalypse, and it just left a bad taste in my mouth. Dante's kind of eyeing Apotheosis during some of these moments to make sure that she's getting his side of the story too. He was also communing with spirits that, while I was young, still am young, a young theurge, he was communing with spirits that I felt weren't aligned with the vision of thinking spirit. That's a theurge's role. It's to commune with the world beyond. And yet, none of it added up. He was hiding things. He was being secretive. And so eventually, I was able to join a tribe. Spider became my patron. And you know as well as I do, Apotheosis, the Glasswalker creed, mode of being, it's in my blood. It's who I am. It's who I choose to be. But Codant 902 didn't like that. He did something that hurt me and someone close to me.
What did he do?
You're not gonna laugh, are you?
I might regret not killing him with that duel. I won't laugh.
He broke my sister's heart.
It's Liz smiling.
I know, I thought it was.
Stone face.
Sorry.
Troyan.
Keeps a straight
Mains.
face. And
Stone faced.
I mean, really though, I don't know if she'll ever feel like she can be vulnerable with someone again.
It was more than just a breakup.
No, it just shattered her. I don't know exactly what went down between them. I just know that it was really, really bad. But of course, when I started trying to tell people at Downstream what I thought, that maybe this one theurge wasn't the be-all and end-all of spiritual knowledge, that he maybe was trying to do things that didn't seem aligned with what Downstream is trying to accomplish, he was able to just point at my life and say, oh, Dante, he's just mad because Janet and I broke up. He's just salty about it. And I am. I fucking am. But that's not what this is all about. There's something about Code 902 that's hidden beneath the surface. They say still waters run deep, and in his case, I think it's true. We're creatures of rage. Where's his? I don't like to tell people this because it comes across an awful lot like, oh, I don't like him because he broke up with my sister. He was a mentor. He was a friend. The
first friend you make isn't the last friend you'll ever have. Sounds like he was a piece of shit.
He did shoot at me.
I like these two.
So, why don't you think it could be him who clocked you over the back of the head?
If 902 decided that he wanted me dead, I would be dead.
So he wants to pretend that it wasn't him because the more advantageous to play the nice guy and continue having his hooks in you and or downstream.
Now he and To the Moon could effectively run that place.
Or he's just a piece of shit, but he's not that piece of shit.
The accusations that you level at someone Dante, there was no challenge. There was only words. We cannot live based on accusations alone, in much the same way that we cannot assume that 902 was the one who attacked me. I don't know who it was. And if you say that he was still there, but he shot at you, why?
I forced my way into the cairn.
And so he was defending the cairn.
There was a fire in downstream, and he was welding the outside door shut.
Perhaps they were
I'm
planning...
not making accusations, I'm stating facts, sorry.
No. Perhaps they were intending to retreat into the Umbra. Maybe he would have taken you. To get you out. And therefore drops the mic in.
I don't understand why heartbreak is so important to you.
What the fuck does that mean? It's my heart.
It's just a heart.
Do you have a spare?
Shh, it's strange. No, you know what? No, fuck it. I'm having you roll it.
Yay!
I want you to roll your... Dante, I want you to roll your composure insight.
Okay.
The two of you, I want you to roll your wits or composure insight. For him, it has to be composure.
Okay.
Specialty motives?
Sure. Sure.
And does that give me an additional die?
Yeah.
It's an additional die.
Nice.
When you're all at rage 1, okay.
Phew. Jacques, so it would go Jacques. That's what a brutal outcome would be here.
2,
And
3.
1 for me.
1, 2, 3.
Okay. For you, Dante, you don't notice anything. For you, Macros, she's uncomfortable and she's kind of pulling into herself slightly. For you, I'm going to text you the answer.
Love that. Love them secrets.
Well, I don't know if you want to share it. You can, maybe I'll text it and you'll immediately share it with everyone else. That's very possible and I would not be mad. But-
Allowed so.
CC me.
I don't know what cone extension. Sure.
Okay.
Maybe.
And money. Contact FedEx on my behalf. Pay my order import fees. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't you fucking dare. Oh, Super Dylan.
Thanks, Super Dylan.
There.
So
You may need precision on that. We'll see. We'll see.
So, yeah, he's not a bad guy. You know, heartbreak isn't a big deal because he left
You're sticking up for
Janet?
your packmate, I understand.
for you. Is that what was going on? You don't think it could be him because you were fucking him?
Dante's mouth fucking drops open. Oh shit.
I'm just gonna do a quick little roll ski here.
Bash.
Quick thing.
Raga
Yeah, very much a ragabash. I'm not mad.
No, I'm
worried.
thrilled.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my god.
Who did I hit a nerve? We just dragged you out of a burning building. You could at least be frank with us.
I am not fucking Code 902.
Great, thank you for that clarity. If you ever feel like telling us why you trust him so much, that would be helpful.
Because I've known him for years. And I've known you for weeks.
Actress stands up and meanders away from the group a bit.
I'm willing to entertain your theories. I'm willing to listen. And yes, I'm willing to entertain the idea that maybe Code 902 is responsible for this. All I know is that I had to almost try to kill somebody that I trusted with my life last night, and I failed.
I went to see Thinking Engine. You know
What?
this. You know I was venturing into the Umbra.
Not for that!
It's what happened. And like you said, I didn't know who, but somebody was doing something, preventing Thinking Engine from reaching out, making it run the same lines over and over.
Yes, the patch.
Exactly, the patch. Why is he trying to... It can't be because Thinking Engine would disapprove of his actions. He told me, Apotheosis, he told me his plan, that he and Any Percent were going to take over Clamata from the inside.
That's ridiculous.
You don't have to tell me.
Then we should go and see Any Percent, and we should try to encourage him to give us some answers.
Gonna let you in?
No. No. And Apotheosis takes both her hands, so now out of the sling,
Ouch.
and just smacks the table in front of her, not to the part where it breaks or anything like that, and then just winces and very carefully just repositions the sling and then puts her arm back in. No, they won't let me there at all.
That's
That's
right.
why we need to find Dusk.
You know who they will see? Us. Because the people you have known for mere weeks have somehow made a good enough impression on two cans that we are allowed free access. You blame us for coming to our own conclusions, but we seem to have a pretty damn good idea of what the two cans here are all about, and how fractured you are, so before you make assumptions about us, don't pretend you're pitying us or doing us a favor by listening to what we have to say. Maybe it has merit. And don't you dare presume to think that we don't know about heartbreak.
I know you know of heartbreak. I don't know why it's such a big deal. It's just a heart.
Here, Reggie.
Have you never loved before? Your sister. No one knows where she is. Apotheosis. How are we to find Dusk if we... The trail leaves from the cairn of the Weathered Storm, we think. Someone will have seen her. We can find her. Is she the only piece of the puzzle because you think you have to lean on her?
I was tasked with the idea that it was my duty to sing for Gaia, that my howls would be heard, that I could step where I needed to step, that I could sing what I needed to sing, that my words would be understood, that I could call glory and wisdom and honor. Dusk was always better at it than I was. Always. Dusk told me not to find Spider, And Dusk was right about all of it. But I can't change who I am, nor can you. And so, yes, I understand why 902 might have told you what he did. And I also understand how you might fight against him because he's wrong. But Dusk was always better than I was at trying to make friends, trying to reach out to others and making them understand. And yes, there is division, and there is a rift, and I can't close it. And you'd think that a Galliard would be able to, at the very least, move somebody with their words, and I can't. Because my own tribe doesn't listen to me. Because I don't know what a heart is, or what it's like. Because I didn't grow up like you. Because you found me as a wolf, didn't you? And how many glasswalkers do you think trust Wolfborn?
Yet they deferred to you. They did. Even to the moon.
Not anymore.
They listened to you while you were there. They took the first opportunity after you'd been taken out to take the can from you, but they were listening to you up until that point. Which means there was something to your leadership. And there was something to your heart. Don't dismiss that.
She can't meet your eyes. But I am going to have you roll your charisma and persuasion. Are either of you going to help with this? Fucking Mac.
Yeah, it's like, can you help your friends? I'm like, I can't right now.
I can't.
If you need me to help you break something, I'll be right by your side.
I would like to try to help, and I would like to do so by tacking on. Just kind of underscoring, I think, maybe one part of what Troyan is saying. Wolfborn Glasswalker may not be usual and may be further from what many Glasswalkers believe, but it also positions you uniquely, Apotheosis. It positions you as someone who can bring the tribe closer to Gaia. That's what I'm going to say. I'm actually busy.
Busy eating your nuts.
That is 3 successes.
3?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I trust you. But I will not lie, I trust you, for I know not who I can trust.
That's the best we can hope for right now.
All I know is that you saved me, and that it seems like you may have saved downstream. Hopefully to the moon is still who they say they are.
We can call them and find out.
They said to call for updates. It's the next day. I'm calling for updates.
You can, yeah.
Do you want to be here for this?
It may be wise to not let on that I'm still alive.
They knew that we were taking you back here.
And if they haven't found you, then, well, they're free to think what they need to think.
They saw us put you in a bar.
Then perhaps it's wise to let them. I was unconscious. I don't remember.
You're right.
And
was there, yeah.
And she looks at Macris, and there's this this seething expression that's starting to slowly abate,
Okay.
but there's still just this fuck you. Not fucking Code 902. I'm not.
Okay.
Defensive people say what?
What?
Oh, sorry. Takes a long sip of his latte. Nice.
Because you haven't made it to third base.
Troyan rolls her eyes
God
and
fucking damn
leaves
it,
the
Macris.
fucking room. Oh my god.
Macris!
Don't wreck my bar.
You know this bar is going down one day.
I
I'm so
know.
sorry.
I was hoping it would last at least 10 episodes.
I think we can get us there. Maybe.
So you're calling who?
To the moon.
Chantal. What?
Yars. Seriously. So, why do you need to up the insurance? I can't tell you.
I should also point out, Dante, it is not widely known. In fact, I don't believe you knew that Apotheosis was Wolfborn.
No. I think it is, I will say, I think it is widely known that Dusk is.
Yeah.
But Dusk is a silent strider.
That's
and
right.
therefore it's not quite as unusual.
That is right. It is not also known that they're sisters.
Right.
No.
Right.
Yeah, so to me it was as soon as she said sister, I was like, does that mean Apotheosis is wolf?
Oh, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
See? Some of us are smart.
Whereas Ellie Spot and I were messaging, we were like, is it even possible
character has
for one
more
to be
intelligence.
Wolfborn and another to not be? And it was like trying to.
Technically, yes.
Cool.
That's hot.
They would not be full brother and sister, though. Likely.
Sister.
Well, I mean, the thing is, the game does not go into the idea of if you are impregnated as a wolf and then you shift to Hamid, are you giving birth to who?
Right,
And
right. Oh, boy.
We're not getting into that, but at any rate. Ring. Ring. Hello.
It's Troyan. Checking in.
Good, I can add your number. I didn't. Sorry. I'm tired. It's been quiet.
Has anyone been by?
No. No one. Ken isn't awake. I might have hit him a couple of times.
I don't blame you. It's very easy to hit.
I haven't seen anyone else. Not 902. No one.
Is there something that we can do?
I'm going to arm the security system and try to sleep, which means that you can't come here, not until I wake back up.
How long do you need?
It's gonna be a while.
We'll probably make our way to Weathered Storm and see if we can get any sense out of any percent.
Jesus. Okay. Weathered Storm, huh?
I don't want to disturb your rest, but do you want me to call you after?
Unless it's an emergency, you gotta give me at least 8 hours.
I can give you 8.
Like I said, the security system is gonna go live, and because I'm the only one here, there'll be no one to turn it off. So don't come here.
All right.
How is she?
I was wondering when you were going to ask. She's pretty badly hurt.
But she's alive.
She was attacked by 2 people.
2?
Mm-hmm.
So there's someone else that I have to worry
She
about?
and Ken were fighting and she was hit from behind.
Fuck. You're sure?
Which is what she said. She does have the injury to back it up.
Yeah. Okay. When you find out what any percent knows,
I'll tell you after 8 hours.
keep her safe, would you?
I intend to. Bye.
Troyan,
Yes?
I don't know how this is all going to end. But I don't know who to trust right now.
You're part of a very large club.
Good. And the call ends.
She heads back to the bar to see, well, she waits to hear if anybody's fighting first before going back in.
No sounds of breaking glass. I don't think so.
All been in glaring T poses this whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much.
Should I wait here? If I come with you onto that mountain, they're not going to want to talk to you.
You're safe here. As safe as you can be, I think.
Door's closed for the day, so you won't get... As long as you leave the close sign and the door locked, you'll be undisturbed.
And you can call if you need us.
Thank you.
Apotheosis, we also don't know who to trust right now. Except each other.
Fox speaks highly of you, then.
I think as far as new packs go, we haven't done a bad job. Sticking together. Hunting together.
You know that 902 travels underground whenever he can. And he won't approach the mountain. He's not that stupid. So you should be safe from him as long as you're there. If he is indeed against us, we'll deal with it in an appropriate time.
If he turns up here, call us immediately.
I will.
To the Moon has Ken secured and is arming the security system, so we cannot return there.
No, we don't want to. That's for sure.
Not for a time.
I haven't met anyone who's been able to penetrate that security system yet. Not even any percent. And then she looks at Macros and there's this evaluating like, I think it should be safe. You are a Ragabash. They are known to be the infiltrators of Guru Society.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm here to pick up your garbage.
Any old ragabash can get in. It's not a very good.
No, it would.
I would tend to agree with that assessment, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Any
'Cause
old
there
rat
are
bat.
quite a few. There are quite a few that we've met already. So.
We're coming back with answers.
I understand. I give you my word. I'll protect this place as best I can while you're gone.
We have a friend that has a key that might stop in. Don't kill him.
Okay. I would assume that you have other people who work here.
So yeah, if someone uses the key, don't kill him.
Apotheosis. You said you trust or trusted any percent. We're gonna do what we have to do up there.
Who I may have trusted in the past may only show that I am more of a fool than I thought I was. And so the table that's in front of her has like many little different speckles of moisture because her hair is still just dripping everywhere. And every once in a while when she turns her head, it just goes, ooh, and then just all across. And it's still sort of trailing a little bit down her face, giving her somewhat of a draggled expression. I don't intend to make the same mistake again. She reaches out with her good hand this time and grabs at Dante's shirt
Yeah.
Best.
and then pulls him close. Not in a like yank, but just more of a grab. Leans close.
He's listening.
If I find out that anyone has died, I will shed no tear for them. There will be no howl. If it is because they have betrayed you, I will support you in this. And if I regain downstream, I'd be honored to have you again. And then she pushes you back in your seat.
Dante takes a second to process this and nods. There are too few warriors of Gaia as it is, and far too few that have a wise vision for the future.
Spider asks for wisdom above all, even from the children of Rat and Gorgon.
Suppose we'll have to see if today we get to make Spider proud.
Spider's already proud of you, Dante. You made better friends than I did. Now go.
He stands to head out of the bar.
Trian shrugs on her jacket and heads out.
Out we go.
There's one more, Macris. You beat any percent.
Yeah.
I'd have liked to see that.
Yeah. His apartment is not in great shape.
Next moot, I'll make sure everyone knows it. The covered moon has a new champion. And then she just sets her head down onto the booth's table. Pulls the latte like closer. Do you have a straw?
She does. She does have a straw. But it is one of those paper straws.
It's okay.
For a
Yeah.
latte?
I know.
Oh,
Well,
dear.
it's not a nice
it's
latte. It's
no,
a
no,
regular
it's
latte.
fair, yeah.
There isn't really an appropriate straw for that,
That's actually a
regardless.
good point, yeah.
But paper, definitely. Shit.
So you're on your way up?
Yep.
Yeah, we're headed up.
Leaving a busted up woman trying to sip a latte through a straw because she doesn't want to lift her head any lower.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sounds
pretty
about
much.
right. That sounds about this speed for this campaign, yeah. We're on our way west, north and west, to the east side of the mountain. Where the Cairn of the Weathered Storm sits. Where Macris left any percent in the care of, I wrote it down,
Sky and Alice.
Alice, that's
It
right.
is. Oh, Alice will be speaking today.
Classic.
Yes.
Who's
Or
to
was
say
it
that she...
after midnight?
I was going to say,
Oh,
who's to
shit.
say she couldn't speak yesterday, just chose not to.
Oh, you're right.
This
It
is the
might
worst
be.
part.
It
She's
might
just
have been.
playing head games with us. at this point.
You did sleep, but when you met her, it was
Yeah.
after midnight.
Yeah.
So no, she does not speak today.
Grammon.
That
So
is
cute.
Bar Balthazar. You are headed towards the Cairn of the Weathered Storm here. So it is a short jaunt.
Yeah.
But as you approach, again at the Bond, let me ask, Macris, where are you? Are you leading them?
I guess I'd like walk in front as we get close.
And where are you headed? Towards the cairn itself, or towards where you left any percent behind?
We're left at any percent.
Sorry.
By the time you reach the tree that any percent was aircraft cabled to,
That's right.
Oh God. Oh my God.
sitting with him, not saying anything yet, but then looking up when you approach, is Sky still. One last dash is keeping a very, very close watch on any percent, but is also gazing around, hyper vigilant. And then when you start to approach, she holds up 3 fingers and then nods, then beckons you. Any percent is awake. He is still kind of fucked up, but he is awake. He isn't saying anything. He is keeping his head on a swivel back and forth as each one of you talk, by the way.
Oh, is he?
Alive, breathing. He even took some water.
Perfect.
Have you had any trouble with any from the Sept?
No. He's been kept safely here. And it would seem that he may not be here for much longer.
Macros drops into a crouch to get eye level with him. How are we feeling?
He calls you a name that I won't repeat here.
Mm.
Sky turns around, looks at him, and then just lifts the hilt of her silver blade and then lets it fall back into its sheath. I don't like that word.
It's okay. He's just showing how much of a piece of a shit he is.
He spends too much time on computers is what's his problem. Too long among those who have decided that such language is permissible.
Are you a little edgelord? Any percent? Are you a cute little edgelord?
Troyan just steps back and settles in the grass.
Could you roll me?
Mhm.
Could you roll me a charisma intimidation, please?
I mean, incredible.
Oh my God.
4 successes, sure, why not?
Thanks, bot.
Cute little edgewood. Very good. Very good.
I should have killed you when I had the chance. The 4 successes will become clear over the course of the scene, by the way, just so that you don't feel like I'm wasting your glorious success.
Only. If only you could have. Then you wouldn't be here. So, do you want this misery to end, or do you want to just keep playing the
What do you want?
I don't know. Deets, info? Who'd you kill? Came home covered in blood. Last time I saw you before it, you weren't. Yeah, we could have had this conversation last night if you felt like talking, instead of you ending up like this.
I didn't kill anyone else.
What got you all messy then?
Got into a fight on the way back.
With?
He looks up at you, and there's this distinct, like, I'm not telling, but I'm also kind of worried that you're going to kill me. Look. Dusk.
Who?
Dusk.
Okay, cool. Dusk. Great. I'm sure that's a person. That is the sister, right? Yep.
Yeah.
That's the Isn't that the person who's been missing for years? Come on, any percent. Fucking talk to me. Stop pulling bullshit out of your ass.
I have no reason to talk to you. I'm dead anyway.
Well, you will be if you keep slinging that shit.
What about you, Dante? Hmm?
Well, what about me?
When you made it back to downstream, did they tell you exactly what they were going to have done to you, or is that just something they decided to spare you?
No, Drops the Mic just decided to rat you out. Tell me all about his plan. He didn't know that you were getting up to anything last night.
What? And this now, okay, he looks to Macris, who I assume has this expression like directly on her face, looks back to Dante. I was doing what I was told.
Uh-huh.
I was doing what I was told.
You're a soldier now.
Yeah.
Aren't you a ragabash? What kind of a ragabash takes orders?
I should tell you that Sky pulls out a flask, just undoes it, and then just
Nice.
Troyan puts out a hand for it. when she's done.
just
Yep.
Okay, you know
passes
what?
it along.
You know what? Macris will settle on the ground, cross her legs, fold her hands in her lap. Who told you? Who told you to do this?
Ken told me that downstream was heading down the wrong path. That Apotheosis had plans to make sure that downstream could further divorce itself from the rest of Gaia. Said that we needed to take over the cairn. Said that he had a plan that we could develop something to help in our fight. That it involved making sure that Lamada was taken down, that Apotheosis would take the fall, that we regain control of downstream. He showed me proof
Uh-oh.
that Apotheosis has been lying to us for years.
Oh. Well, that sounds pretty serious.
That it's her fault that there's a division between us and Weathered Storm.
So it's her fault.
Said that if I managed to take out everyone in Clamata, the entire board, we'd be able to take it over. And if we took it over, we could determine what their purpose was. And if we could do that, we could reverse it.
I mean, I'm down for reversing Clemata's plans. Why are you so verbose this morning? Got a bit of sleep?
Sorry,
cranky?
why are you what?
So verbose this morning. Got a bit of sleep? Less cranky? It didn't have to go down the way it did.
So he... Hold on. You hear a rumble as he tries to shift against the bonds that hold him to the tree, and even as his body starts to grow, it abruptly drops back into Hamid. You, Dante, know what that feels like.
Oh dear.
He's lost the wool.
Just Glasswalker thing.
I'm going to ask you to roll, both of you actually. I want you to roll your manipulation, and Dante, for you, intimidation. For Macris, you can choose either intimidation, performance, or persuasion.
Intimidation is my better pool.
Then take intimidation. That's fine. Are you assisting?
So Troyan isn't speaking at this moment.
You're in a rune.
Yeah. So
Don't always have to speak.
maybe she just cracks her knuckles really loudly.
Okay. Who are you helping? Which one?
Who needs that?
I got 4.
You have 4? How do you? I'll help Dante.
I will make a roll myself here.
Do you have any intimidation? Yeah, of
Oh,
course
yeah.
you do. Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, sorry. Yes, I do. I have 2.
I don't roll rage dice if I've lost the wolf. That's the way that works.
Sass Chris. Woo.
Okay. Successes.
2.
1.
Do you wish to re-roll any dice at this time? I will remind you that this is a thing you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you click into our stats again so I can see what my available will be?
I think you have all of it.
No, I only regained 3.
Okay.
Yeah, why not? We're
Yay.
into the session. I'll
I'm
There's your willpower if you need it.
reroll these 2 on
gonna
my
get a
sheet.
bit back here.
I'll take a 3rd success.
Troyan reaches for the flask again.
So how many successes?
3.
3 and
1.
1. Okay. You'll deal 2 superficial willpower damage.
Ooh.
That's a thing I forgot.
Yeah.
So,
Very
thank you.
very much a thing. These are health tracks. Well, one of them is health and the other is will, but they are damage tracks, and you can do damage to each other this way. When you're spending willpower, you are essentially doing damage to yourself to push you further.
Right.
But thing is, you run out of willpower, it starts becoming aggravated, and aggravated willpower is a lot harder to heal.
Yeah. Yeah, there's very few ways to get back from that.
Marcus takes a deep breath. All right, but let's start fresh. We can do this the easy way. Ken set you up. Ken convinced you. Ken made you believe that his path was right. You were gonna clean a house at Clemetta. How much house did you clean?
I only managed to get to the CEO. When I was on my way to the second, I was dropped.
By dusk.
So,
I barely managed to get away.
was Dusk following you and intercepted?
I
Was
have
Dusk
no idea.
protecting? Were they like on the property of the person?
I
Or
have no idea.
where were you relative to your destination when they got to you?
I was in Upper Westmount, about 1 kilometer away from my target.
Okay.
It was outside.
And they got away.
I ran. I wasn't followed.
Dusk is she, her, but Macros hasn't met Dusk, so it's just defaulting.
She's been referred to as sister.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
But Macros is also playing a bit dumb.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Playing dumb is
Nice. Oh yeah, me too. Me too. I was also playing dumb. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Okay. And Apotheosis has been lying to you. What has Apotheosis been doing to Downstream? What's the risk? Why did you need to take it back by covert means rather than, I don't know, a challenge or, ganging up and punching her a lot?
I don't think Andrew knows. You were just following orders, right? That's what you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
He looks like he feels very foolish at this point. Other than the fact that he also feels like he may not survive this particular day.
I'm still so baffled. I don't know what
Bodies.
the dynamics are at Downstream, and there's like a glance towards Dante, but I guess you looked up to Ken?
Looked up to, sorry, who?
To Ken?
Ken, sorry, yeah. Who wouldn't?
I don't know. Me? I haven't really gotten to know him.
He's a Philodox of great renown. Very wise.
Cool. Cool.
And if he judged Apotheosis guilty, I was going to believe him. Now, I'm going to have all of you roll your intelligence politics, please.
One.
2.
Hey.
Dante, Philodox are indeed the judges. They, the arbiters, the ones who determine what the rules show and whether they've been broken. But it's not like they're born to, like, it's not like, oh, a Philodox said so, so therefore. I mean, yes, that's their role. That's what they're known best for. But in much the same way that all Guru are expected to fight, not just Arun, all Guru are expected to lead, not just Philodox. So, yeah, there's some basis to a Philodox told me that Apotheosis was guilty, and so therefore I believed him. But also, why was it done in secret? Why was there no public declaration made? A moot called? A challenge declared? None of this happened.
Yeah.
To your knowledge.
Right. And yet, despite Ken knowing all of this about Apotheosis, nothing ever came to light. He must have showed you something pretty juicy. Proof, you said. Proof that there was that the division between Weathered Storm and Downstream was caused by her, at least in part. Look, man, we're all warriors on the same side here. We were doing our own thing, you were doing your thing. I understand why those didn't come together. I get it. They could now. We don't have to abandon any plans.
We're down to take down Clamata, and Clamata seems to be sniffing up Weathered Storm's back end, so with a nod to Sky, they're down to participate too, I'm sure.
This could be the thing that brings the Cairns back together. But if you know a reason why, yeah.
So both Any Percent and Sky both have like
yeah, of course, yeah, that's fair. It's a little idealistic. I'll give you that. A little bit. But if you have reason to believe, if you know why that isn't going to be possible, because there's still players out there in the game that are forcing them apart, it's your duty to expose that. It would be the wise thing to do.
That is a charisma persuasion roll.
Do I have to make it? Oh, no, actually, you know what? It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I'll do it.
The one who was talking.
Yeah. It's not that bad.
Wait.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to say that if Macris, if you want to add a die to that roll,
Yeah.
based on what your
Yeah.
impeccable performance up to now, yeah, you can add a die for that.
Yeah.
Are you helping as well?
I take another sip from the flask and burp.
No
You
persuade.
got one die, Scott.
Okay. Is it a rage die? Because I don't know who has
It's
persuasion
not a
on it.
right.
Oh, that's the thing. Right.
Don't
yes, sorry,
believe
yes.
that it's a rage die if it's not a
I think
right.
I was
Yeah.
being helped.
We will continue to make that mistake until the end of time.
I would be thrilled if it were a rage
Somewhere I
die.
have a help. Yeah. Anything help.
One baby. It's 5 successes. There's a crit. Thanks for the extra die.
Pen and paper. I'll write everything down.
Macris glances at
So-
Sky.
The fact that he's asked for a pen and paper
Yeah.
is significant.
Yeah.
He did not ask for like a keyboard or he's going to send an email or whatever.
No.
Glasswalkers would normally not choose a pen and paper to do this, which means that he understands that you could immediately turn around and be like, I can't give you access to technology. You'll fuck us over.
Yeah.
With it. So given that, you can also make a reasonable assumption that he also isn't asking this to be like, I need a hand free so that then I'll claw you all to bits.
Aha! Yeah.
He seems genuine in his
Yeah.
capitulation. He looks like his spirit is absolutely broken.
Yay!
Is it fair to say that I might have, like, those things on me? A pen and like a small notebook that I could tear some pages out of?
Sky has them.
Good. Even better then.
Yeah.
She hands them
Yeah.
to you, not to any percent. We can't keep holding him.
That's okay. We know what needs to be done.
Where do you want him?
Let's see what he has to write. That'll determine his final destination.
Yeah. Our pack needs a moment. Sky will leave him with you for just a few minutes.
She again lifts 3 fingers to the sky, waits for a second, and then takes a step back. I'm going to have all of you roll your wits awareness. Mm-hmm.
3.
That's 5.
And I got 0.
0. Okay,
Yeah.
so you are
Yeah.
focused on any.
I'm in the midst of passing over the
You
paper, yeah.
can tell that you're not alone here.
Yeah.
Sentinel of the Soul is present. She's in a tree about 50 meters away and watching. You see that she is holding a bow.
And that's Alice? Alice?
No, that's one.
Oh, one. Okay.
Alice is a Touch of Glass.
Okay.
She's been here the entire time and has been keeping an eye on this, but from a remote location. But what Troyan knows is that there is not just Sentinel of the Soul here. There is a raven looking asleep in a tree close by that definitely is just a little out of place, but not so much that anyone else has noticed.
So she very specifically does not look at the raven, but does mark it. So has any percent been given the paper?
Yes,
He's
the
writing
paper and pen have been handed over to...
Any percent is going to start to write, and then he looks up. I'm going to need more than this, and he just starts to scribble out as best he can. Seeing as how his hand is still
Yeah.
like this, but he's doing his best.
Sure. We appreciate that.
He starts to write about how it has been several months that Ken originally came to him and started talking to him, convincing him that, in fact, Apotheosis was acting against the cairn. The evidence that he was providing were things like remote logins, conversations with Thinking Engine that she wasn't telling other people, IP logs. However, he admits that he did not independently follow up on these claims, believing a Philodox wouldn't give him false information. And that, yeah, every once in a while Apotheosis has been acting strangely. That she doesn't necessarily talk about everything, despite the fact that she, ostensibly the leader of Downstream at the time, would have been open about such things like communing with the Cairn spirit. Then there was evidence provided that Clemata was a dangerous threat, but to the Cairn of the Weathered Storm. Ken believes that by taking over Clemata, they can learn not only what they're trying to do that is against Gaia, but also that they can see if they can leverage this information in such a way as to assist with repairing relations between Downstream and the Cairn of the Weathered Storm, but had to move it up because Ken got worried that there were other Guru who may have been making the same play, and that he didn't want this opportunity to fall through. That's why he was sent out to attempt to take out the entire board in one night.
Oof, indeed.
He was encountered after the first one. After the first kill that he made, Apotheosis came upon him, and not trusting to tell Apotheosis what was happening, then made it appear that he went after the CEO because Apotheosis asked him to pull information about the Clamato Board of Directors to give to you. Then he was headed to take out the rest of them when he was set upon by another Guru who he believes was Dusk. Dusk wasn't trying to kill him, but was definitely trying to subdue him. He escaped, but then believing that there was no way that he would be able to make it to the rest of the board while being tracked, headed back to his apartment to try to regroup and figure out what to do. Whereupon he came across a problem.
Macrease.
As he's writing this, it's very clear that he is listless. His brain is working on autopilot. He is done. Not just physically, care of, but also mentally, care of.
We're going to let him write as we step away to, having had Sky signal that the three of us are stepping aside, and then we'll be coming back. We're going to take ourselves to a safe distance. Eye shot, but not earshot. Let's do it that way.
So, as I suspected before he decided to get bitey.
Sky is reading over Any Percent's shoulder, by the way.
Totally, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would be too. Fuck Sky, fuck.
Stop looking at me, la la la.
As I suspected before he decided to get bitey, there's more to this. Is that Apotheosis has been lying about the fact that Dusk is hanging out in town rather than lost and gone forever.
Well, she didn't know.
Is Ken the bad guy, or is Ken misled?
Or is Ken being manipulated by someone else?
No, I don't think so. It's an ambitious plan, but it's not outside the realm of possibility that he would have come up with it. It's not a bad plan in and of itself.
Except for the extra code. But was it signed by him? Are you sure it was him who put that stuff in?
I'm taking Apotheosis at her word that Ken was the one hatching Thinking Engine. I'll need more time to look into that. See if we can ascertain if it's true.
Any percent has to die. What?
Hey, Troyan, why is that?
Because he's damaged the trust of too many people. If we let him go, what would he do?
You're not one for letting people rebuild trust.
No,
Okay, good to know where we stand.
we're at war.
I know that, and we need soldiers.
We cannot take a half soldier.
We need an inside guy.
You think he's an inside guy, someone who was so easily led by Ken.
I think he owes us.
At worst, he cannot be trusted. At best, he's an incompetent puppet. Either way, he's of no use to us.
So do you think Apotheosis is a good guy still?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. But she knows Dusk, who clearly has a lot of sway. I want to speak to Dusk.
So he dies because he's an idiot.
He dies because he isn't smart.
Potato, potato.
You really think we should keep him alive?
I don't hunt for fun.
Fox doesn't want us to hunt without reason. And I hear your reason.
You really think there's no reason to eliminating his threat right now, while we have him?
It's not that I don't think that.
My plan isn't to just say, go be free.
What would you do with him?
I don't know, our storage of people is kind of full.
He's not staying at the bar.
Cool.
Well, he wouldn't be allowed back to downstream yet anyway.
No.
But he could get in touch with... I doubt To the Moon is going to let Drops the Mic contact anyone for now.
To the Moon is the other person who clocked Apotheosis over that. What if we've handed downstream to the wrong people?
They seemed surprised when I told them, but could have been faking it.
I don't know who to trust.
There's bad blood between these Cairns, and Troy, and I respect the hell out of you and your principles. But won't this just exacerbate the bad blood between us? Between them? All of us?
Who are we irritating by killing him?
I think Apotheosis would be thrilled. I think possibly Ken would be thrilled. I think too many people would be happy if he died because he's too much of a loose...
Now that's interesting.
Right, that I
That's
will
out of
listen
character,
to.
sorry. That's really interesting.
We're playing into someone's hand.
So by keeping him alive, we're doing what is unexpected, and we gauge reactions accordingly.
We can say he's dead.
All right.
We have to hide him somewhere. We
Exactly.
can also tell him if Apotheosis is dead. See what he says to that. I'm not good at this. I'm good at hiding. I'm not good at lying.
I'm good at the path of least resistance, and right now, someone I really don't like is tied to a tree.
I'm going to make an offer.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like rolls?
Like,
Cinnamon
like
rolls?
cheddar rolls, or?
I love some, yeah.
I could really fucking go for a cinnamon roll right now. God damn it. No, I'm going to say, would you like rolls to see what certain avenues you have to deal with any percent?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kill?
This will be an intelligence roll.
Kill, no kill. Exile. That's my thought is exile. Intelligence.
So you can choose, maybe each of you will take something different. You can choose to roll occult, politics, or larceny.
Oh.
Which are you choosing?
Larceny.
Larceny.
Occult. The weird one. What the fuck, dice? Come on, man.
One.
Okay, so neither of you will have the answer.
I'm re-rolling some dice.
Okay.
Oh, right.
Chris.
Can I still do that?
Yeah, you can.
So I had the one. Yoink.
4.
All right, 2.
You could call a moot. You could call a moot, invite interested parties, and put him on trial.
Oh shit! Sorry.
You could get a Philodox to oversee the trial. Now, admittedly, the Philodox
How many Philodoxes
from
do we have we can
downstream is not really available. However,
Please lie.
Sky is Philodox.
Oh!
Cleaves the Lie is a Philodox.
Cleaves the Lie feels like a bad play here too
Nothing
as well.
brings people together like a murder trial.
She's also witnessed enough of this, so she has a bit of intel. Yeah.
And then a Philodox could make the determination, which would follow more along traditional Guru lines of a moot would be the way to then deal with it. And his crime may very well warrant the punishment of death, but there are other ways to punish Guru. A satire rite, for instance, which would effectively fuck his renown over until such time as he managed to claw it back, which would then reduce his ability to rely on gifts, etc., etc. So that's one way to deal with it. Another way that you could deal with it is you could simply disappear him. You kill him, but then you don't let anyone know that he's dead. I don't know, fill his body with concrete and dump him in the St. Lawrence.
Oh, yikes. The opposite too, right? In theory, we could tell him to leave and tell everyone he's dead. I feel like that's not a particularly smart play, but...
You know, or bury him in one of the couches in the main line, because those are never picked up.
Oh, they're never going anywhere.
Woo, 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 woo.
John, we're trying to kill him, not torture him.
That's why they never clean the couch covers at club soda.
Ooh.
Those are the two options that I'm giving you at this time. So you could do a moot. A moot with the express purpose of determining what to do about him. And possibly also Ken. Remember that he's still technically a prisoner right now, although be it not under your direct control. Or you kill him, but you make sure that no one knows where he ended up.
We can't kill him quietly. It's possible that the blame will be shifted to Weathered Storm, and then any hope of breaching that rift is short to hell.
A moot could bring people together. They don't have to become best friends. Downstream is neck deep in Clamada, but Clamada seems to be focused on attacking Weathered Storm, so...
If any percent is right, if Ken's aim this whole time has been to bridge the gap, bring the Karens back together, I mean, I think he's going about it in an absolutely wild way, but I could see it making sense.
There's no glory to be gained from killing a prisoner that's already half dead. But there could be honor and wisdom in calling this moot.
I mean, don't worry, Troy, we're not going to stop killing people. What?
I'm not worried about that.
I didn't think so.
I resent the implication.
All right.
We've been given an alternative to keeping a prisoner at my bar. And I accept. I'm for a moot.
There will be those who will say that we're aligning ourselves with Weathered Storm because we're bringing people from downstream to be put on trial here. I'm with you.
Fucking who?
I'm with you, Chris.
Great, we've picked a side because the other side, was tearing itself apart. And I don't know.
I can't fault someone for trying to make headway in this world. Progress. Stagnation is the death of all of us.
I want to fucking do something. I'm tired of sitting around, and this will at least get everyone talking. They can all tell their lies or tell their truths or whatever the hell. But it forces everyone into the open that wants to play this game.
Shit.
Everyone who has a stake.
You're right. Yep. And those people who choose not to will be able to see that too.
And now we at least have a lead on Dusk.
Yeah.
Why hasn't she made herself known to us? Presumably she would have been watching her sister.
Presumably.
Where is she?
Upper Westmount sounds like. I know.
So is she?
Right.
Yeah.
The raven ruffles feathers and then starts hopping from one tree to another tree to another tree as if preparing to leave.
Unless the raven seems like it wants us to follow, I will give it a little nod, but not follow it.
Mm-hmm.
It started to leave at a very specific moment.
Oh, like maybe it's going to find Dusk?
That'd be pretty cool.
Or maybe it already knows where Dusk is and leading us to Dusk.
No, probably needs to track, it down.
Oh, look, I'm looking at the ceiling. I'm looking at the floor. I'm looking at Kate. Hate might kill me.
Hope not.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Then Troyan nudges the other two and does a small nod up to the raven. I think we're going to get some help.
Good. Shall we read this beautiful penmanship?
It is odd. It's only so much psychic damage you can do to the guy before he just sets up like a quivering like.
Nice, right? No, right? Like,
Macris just takes out a red pen and starts like circling all the
God,
spelling
no.
mistakes, laughing.
oh, no.
God damn.
That would be too personal.
Fair. Well, someone else should deliver the news.
Someone else.
Someone who didn't want to just kill the prisoner.
Yeah, of course. Let's see what we can do. And hopefully, Dante says, loud enough for the raven to hear. Sorry, for everyone to hear. Hopefully we can find Dusk. And then, we're going to start making our way back towards Any Percent and Sky. And take the pages from Any Percent if he seems done, or if maybe he's running out of paper.
He seems done.
Okay, cool. We'll look at them later. I mean, we've seen.
You've
we've
Yeah.
got the Okay.
Yeah, but just
What are you going to do?
Is this Sky or Any
Sky.
Percent?
Any Percent right now is in no position to talk to anyone.
Fair enough.
He's just afraid that if he opens his mouth again, he's just going to be like verbally taxed again until he just shuts up.
I'm gonna dig myself further into debt with you.
Go ahead.
Killing him wouldn't give us the same kinds of answers as if we called a moot. There's a lot at play here. It affects Weathered Storm, it affects downstream, it affects Gaia, it affects the mountain, the city.
Fox has asked us to watch before we hunt. And that's what we intend to do. To think on our course of action. Who better to preside over a moot, a trial, than a Philodox who knows both the accusers and the accused?
You're asking me to judge in a matter of downstream.
One last dash, we are asking you to do your duty to Gaia.
The question isn't whether or not Any Percent
Is that good? Is that okay?
hurt downstream.
Thanks for the tag.
The question is, what's to be done about these actions theoretically trying to infiltrate Clamata? Yes, it's tied to downstream. If they could clean up their own messes, we wouldn't be involved.
Who is the better charisma persuasion?
Yeah?
Ooh.
Really? 3.
I have 3.
I have 5.
So you can
You can step in.
throw
Yeah,
down a closing
I shall.
argument here.
In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen,
Cards
of
on the
jury-
table. I very much wanted to kill him.
Any Percent's head just goes, what?
These two convinced me that not only was it correct, but it was smart. If it comes to somebody who can not only be fair, but smart in these proceedings, you were the obvious answer.
Now you roll your charisma persuasion. You get 2 dice because you've been helped by your pack mates. I am rolling my composure and let's say that it's composure politics.
What do you think? Should I push it even
I
more?
think so. I think so. You're getting willpower back pretty soon, right?
Yeah.
Unless you... I can't remember what the Black Fury's ban is.
Oh.
Ah, rip.
Wah-wah.
Yeah, well,
4.
4.
Yay.
That beats my 1.
Oh!
Jeez.
Tonight. I'll call the moot tonight. But it will not take place here, nor will it take place at downstream.
Neutral ground.
Can be at my bar.
It needs to be some moody.
Where do you propose?
Angel Woods. Let's go to the map.
At Angel Woods.
As seen it and changing the streaming, but in a parallel universe.
Right. Not the same universe, not the same world of darkness.
So,
That's right, Threadweaver. Also, a hi to the spirit of spider in the chat. What's up?
Hello.
What's going on?
Angel Woods.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
So that's the island of Montreal.
Yeah.
Are more around.
Can't quite remember which giant park it is. Not a giant
It's in
park.
Beaconsfield.
It's in Beaconsfield.
Oh
It's
yeah.
the Field of Beacons.
Shit. Can you imagine
Oh.
a field of beacons?
It's closer to
You
around
move in a
here.
bit. I thought I saw it when you zoomed in. Angel Woods. There it is.
Aha!
With 2 L's.
That's right.
And you can zoom back out to show us the distance.
He's far.
Yeah, it's far into the island. And Montreal is 4 times the size of Manhattan. For those of you more familiar with the size of New York.
Sounds like we're taking the Passat.
So that's quite a long way
A decent trot, for sure.
from where you are. Tonight. I'm taking him under my custody until then.
Thank you.
As well you should.
You have your last chance to question him before the moot now. But if you're done, I'll ask you to leave.
Dante just, turns back towards Any Percent and crouches down near him in some sort of show of, like, solidarity or familiarity anyway. Nobody wanted it to be like this, man. You didn't lie to us, did you?
He shakes his head and then just lets it drop on his chin, just thunking against his chest, rattling the chains somewhat. Cable.
Yeah. I know that you believe you were doing what was best for everyone. If you believe that too, then it's going to be okay.
Well spoken, but you should go.
Dante stands up and brushes himself off.
The raven takes off. Nevermore, motherfuckers!
If it is decided that he should be executed, I am going to try to make sure I'm near the front of the line. She says that loudly and starts to walk away.
Try and... Dante gives a deep kind of nod to Sky. We'll see you tonight. Thank you.
Go in peace. And then Sky turns and starts to whisper to Any Percent in a very intent look on her face, but beyond that, is now ignoring you. Of course, you're not being ignored by everyone.
But how many of us know there are other people there?
Well, 2 of them. Dante, you've been focused on any percent.
I know it. Yeah. But I think we're on our way back to Bar Balthazar unless someone had like a thought about going somewhere else.
Yep.
Where are you headed now?
Well, Troyan sets an alarm on her phone to know when 8 hours have passed, and she can call to the moon with an update.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I think she would want to head back to the bar.
Yeah, To the Moon is gonna want to be there
Oh yeah.
with
There are a
drops
bunch
the
of
mic.
Old Kenny Ken.
thrift shops in between A and B. I'm gonna stop in and get a couple of extra changes of clothes, considering we seem to have a rotating cast of guests.
Good to have.
They're about as fashion neutral as possible.
A lot of sweatshirts.
Wait, you're not down with the blazer sweatpants combo?
Yo.
Blazer sweatpants is awesome. Not everyone wants that to be their option. I mean, I know you give options, but yeah.
So no one is going after the Raven.
Well, I couldn't tell if he was like going off to scout for us or if he did want us to follow him.
If he wanted us to follow him, he could have like waited outside the clearing and then like hopped down and like flapped his wings, and then we would have followed.
Like
him,
I feel like if he
right?
comes back to be like, "Are you coming with me?"
Yeah.
Then yes, they'll get the hint.
Well, you know basically that the Raven has taken off, but you can watch where the Raven goes to see if they head to another area close by or whether they're just going. But
Right.
I just don't know whether you want to risk looking at the Raven. You were saying very specifically that you were not.
I just didn't want the other folks who were watching us to know about Theo.
Yeah.
Okay, then why don't you roll me your manipulation survival?
Okay.
Ooh.
That is a pool.
Yeah.
I did not realize. was a
Manipulate
possibility.
those elements, baby.
Jeez, I really do have to buy it on survival.
Yeah.
You have 4 in manip, don't
I
you?
do.
Yeah,
It's still a pretty decent pool.
Right?
It's
Yeah,
not
this
too
game.
shabby. 2.
The Raven is not moving very quickly, considering that the Raven can fly. So it is ostensible that it's possible to follow the Raven, and that it might be slowing down specifically.
Okay, so in that case, then Troyan will nudge them again and start to like move in the direction of the Raven.
Does it seem to be going westward?
Yes,
Okay.
heading into, well, not the setting sun. It's still like pretty.
It's
It's like in the
Morning. But yeah, no, that direction. Cool. That direction.
Are all of you going?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we're
You're not splitting the party.
God damn it. I just want to test the water.
Which one?
The Raven seems to be dawdling. I mean, the 2 legs among you don't move that quickly. And I assume that Macris isn't shifting to
Lupus to
Lupus to
run along.
run along. We're just taking our abnormally large, kind of ugly dog out.
Come on, honey. Let's play fetch with Macris.
Scrappy.
Scrappy the dog, of course.
There's a growl. There's
Ah,
a big
you
growl.
fucker.
But you're staying in Hobbit.
Yeah, sorry.
Doo-doo.
As you continue to follow along, the Raven seems to be going along Sherbrooke Street. It just makes for a pleasant walk on a beautiful fall day. The leaves are just starting to turn. I mean, remember that this is taking place about a month ago at this point.
Yep.
The leaves are just starting to turn, and vendors are taking this chance to have one last sort of sale out on the sidewalk before they have to start bringing all their terraces in, that kind of stuff, which is not nearly as fun. And then the Raven stops outside a... Oh, where are we going to have you stop? It's got to be a good place. It's a long walk. It's a long walk, but as you start nearing towards the end of where Sherbrooke Street, goes, there's a restaurant off by the side with Greek styling.
Oh my god, that is a long walk.
It's a long walk. With Greek styling and the name emblazoned out front, Souvlaki George. As a restaurant, it has had its ups and its downs, but it maintains a certain amount of popularity now that the pandemic has passed and they can get back to what they do best, souvlaki, but also their fries, which are
Pretty baller. Yeah.
pretty damn good.
And a salad dressing.
And their salad dressing. And their calamari. And is it too late for us to start?
I mean, basically, since the so-called George stopped playing at being municipal politics and went back to his restaurant, it got good again.
Funny how that happens.
Yeah.
Souvlaki George has a very large, what could almost be described as a porch, with several tables that have been set out. And even though it's the approaching the end of lunch rush, as I said, this is a long walk. A woman is sitting at a table. She's wearing sunglasses and a light sort of sweater, just light enough for this warm day that it's not seen as strange. She's got her hands folded in front of her. There's a couple of rings on her fingers and one earring just on one ear, which looks like a fang that is just resting there. And the other ear, instead of a fang, it's just a small sort of not a gauged, but it's a circle that's just here. And then upon closer inspection, it has just a few markings of the moon on it. She looks up as are the three of you approaching.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The raven does not stick around. The raven ends up continuing to fly. There's a plate in front of the woman that just has a heap of fries, yarrow meat, gravy, cheese. She pushes the mostly untouched plate aside as she sees the three of you approach. I was wondering when you'd come. Please come, sit down. Dante. Troyan. And you can sit too.
How generous. Macra sets.
Please, and pushes 3 forks across the table. I thought it would be interesting.
Did you know you didn't find it interesting though?
It's got a bit too much extra to it. I don't know. And she picks out one of the bits of yarrow meat. This doesn't belong on poutine. Just drops it back on.
Them's fighting words in this part of town.
Maybe. I'm not worried about fighting anyone here. Not today.
So you know our names?
You've been introduced.
Have we?
By whom?
A mutual friend. I have to say thank you, by the way. You've done him more of a service than I ever could. But then again, I did buy his bicycle.
Let's all say that he's equally indebted to all of us then.
I've been told a story. And I appreciate every minute of it, although there seems to be some twists and turns that I was not anticipating. I'll thank you not to let anyone else know that I'm here. If you can.
What about your sister?
That I'm going to leave to your discretion.
She told us to find you.
Really?
Yes.
You see, do you mind if we call you Dusk? Do you have a name you prefer?
I've been called many names. But, truth be told, I'll take any I can get. Typically, I'm the one who gives out names.
How did you meet him?
Yeah.
Why'd you buy his bicycle?
Because there are not many left of his kind. He needed someone to understand just a little bit more about us. I did not want to push, but I gave him enough information about the Guru so that he could come to his own decisions. And I had the money, and I honestly don't really know what to do with most of it.
Sounds like you've done him a real favor then. My understanding is that many like him, well, don't trust would be a little bit of an understatement.
Trust is something that is not in high supply. Not when it comes to us.
That's true.
But still, he deserved to know what he was getting into. I must not have prepared him as well as I would have liked, but he at least seemed to find some who know what to do, and I appreciate that. My sister, on the other hand, she seems to have been tied up in something that I have difficulty grasping. But I appreciate it. Dante, Troyan, and you.
Why don't you know her?
Who, this one?
Why aren't you calling her name?
This is a no-moon. A no-moon who has, in very short order, developed a reputation, at least, among Korax and those who listen to Korax. I'm glad I recognized that my phone was vibrating on top of an isolated pad. I could call you by your name. And yet all I see when I look at you, you really are cuts to the quick.
Your sister has a certain complex when it comes to you. It's not really our business. She asked us to find you because you're the only one who seems to be able to go between anymore.
Yes, I have a reputation that perhaps I no longer deserve. There's a reason I haven't been at Downstream. There's a reason I haven't been to Weathered Storm. And there's a reason why I wanted to make sure that I got a chance to meet the three of you. But I think we're going to end the session there.
Whee!
Yay!
I was gonna say we got this big plate of poutine in front of us. I mean, we're all ears really for now. Dante's not one to turn down free food. I imagine neither is Macros, really. Well, actually, maybe, yeah.
I feel like Dante's eaten most of the bar's supply of pretzels. And mixed nuts.
He's a pocky kind of guy. Because you don't get your fingers dirty when you eat it, right?
So when he's at his computer, he just has a few pocky sticking out of his mouth.
They are very good. Woo!
Scott,
Yeah.
what did you learn today?
Great question. I learned that Apotheosis does not. It has assumed a leadership role, but does not feel like a good Galliard, good guru. That's what I learned.
Kate?
Excuse me.
Learned that Macros wants the big picture answer, not just one topic answered.
Okay, that's fair. Hey, Liz, you're not Kate.
Who are you? What have you done?
Troyan learned that she's very surprised that Macros wasn't on board to kill any percent. I feel like they don't disagree about that all that often.
Oh,
But my killing buddy.
But I don't understand.
I also was like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to rationalize this one. You know, like
That's it.
I was absolutely
Yeah.
what a great.
I'm not
That was a great scene.
sure if we can, Aragorn, because we're not using Twitch official chat for any of our stuff.
I just did it.
Okay,
Oh.
thank you.
Perfecto.
Well, while I'm here,
The prediction was, will the pack consult a spirit this session? And it was between yes and no. And the answer is no, which only 15% of those who answered
Ooh.
believed.
Okay.
The poll, however, is result of the moot next week.
They knocked on the door.
Result of the moot next week, and either the answer is either 0% or any percent rep destroyed.
What about any percent reps made, guys? We don't. Come on.
Sweet reps.
Sweet reps. Yeah, sweet. He's gonna make some sweet gains. I like 0% as an option. That's great. Oh, that's funny. Nice.
I mean, yeah, so Aragorn gets 69,000 points.
What?
Because of the prediction. People
Aragorn,
bet very heavily against you.
we see right through you, Aragorn. I know about your hoard and your points. God. But this way we can wash the blood off our hands. It doesn't have to be blood on our hands. It can be blood on everyone's hands.
I want the blood on my hands.
Oh, you want it? Okay.
God
Yeah.
damn it.
Oh, okay, Aragorn. My mistake. Also, I have a lot of XP, Aragorn, so you'll have to tell me what to buy. JK.
LOL.
LOL.
Do you have a lot of XP left?
I do have a lot. If
You
I,
just haven't been spending it.
I've actually bought quite a few things, small things.
Or did you just are you just adding experience to your sheet and not telling anybody?
Yeah, can you? Yeah, well, I mean, I've been doing so much good stuff, John. Right? Just plus. No, I think I'll run over the math with John just to make sure.
I'm
but
kind of
pretty
down
sure I'm good.
for this thing that Ellie Spot learned, which is I learned that Apotheosis has a whole list of complexes and can use some work on those.
This may come as a shock, but werewolves, not really the most well-adjusted people.
Really? I would have thought this comes as a shock. John's NPCs.
Oh yeah, not necessarily the most well-adjusted people.
that make for interesting characters.
Indeed.
That is correct.
Scott, you want to call someone's play out?
I do. I want to call out Saskris. I really love coming into a scene strong. And I'm like, okay, how are we going to approach this interrogation? Are we going to good cop bad? Oh, Macros is just going right for his little, boy cred. It's great. It was great. It really felt very Ragabash. It undercut the shit out of him. and it was a moment of the game for me. That was great.
I mean, I want to highlight just wanting to kill any percent, but in addition to that, I want to highlight Trin's handling of Apotheosis, the hosting nature of it, and then also still digging into the truth and the facts and stuff, not being like, well, you're hurt and, you're in trouble, so I'm not going to bother you. Like, still driving to the point.
Sorry.
Thank you.
No, you can still talk, so you're going to give me some answers.
Yeah.
I really think that, I mean, you both pushed for it, but Dante definitely spearheaded pushing for the moot.
Mm-hmm.
Because in my head, I was like, Troyan is going to fight hard for wanting to kill any percent. And so the other PCs better have a damn good reason, or she's probably just going to march up and try to throat him. And
that wouldn't be wrong.
But the reasons that you gave were excellent. And I think it's also it shows that they as a pack are starting to figure out where they stand and what the future that they want for the two Karens as well.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
I could not fucking stop. Just that was that moment just right there is when I'm like, the three of you understand Werewolf. I know that you don't understand the whole big picture. You haven't read every source book that exists out there. But the fact that you were like, we should kill him. Are you kidding me? No, we should kill him. And then the argument that you had over that and the reasonings, but none of you were just because murder is wrong.
No.
Oh, no. God, no.
No. I wanted to kill him yesterday. Right now, I don't.
And I was just thrilled with just especially just coming. Any percent needs to die. Oh yeah, let's fucking go.
Oh yeah, that is a great start to the conversation.
She was just sitting there drinking from Sky's flask and imagining the ways she was going to kill him. She's just like, I'm just biding my time. And then they go up to chat. She's like, so who wants the first hit?
I could use those chains.
Oh, he'd
we're
already rolled over and showed his belly and his throat.
Yeah.
It's not a fun kill.
She's not doing fun.
It's not fun.
The moot point is complete, but I missed what the answer was. Why can't I access the answer?
Oh, yeah.
It was right here. I was in the chat.
Prediction results. That's not helpful.
Weird.
In the meantime, I'm going to call out John's... hey! Thanks, Dad. I'm going to call out John's STing. For me, actually... I'm going to call out the setting up of the circumstances with any percent so that we could have that conversation. Creating the parts of the bigger picture whereby he did some bad shit, we didn't like it, but maybe it was for the right reason. He's working for someone else. Creating that complexity and laying it out, that really did it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I will also point out that despite the fact that somebody made a suggestion of a name today, it does not have to be accepted.
Yeah.
There's no reason for somebody to continue using a name that they don't want. The only exception is sometimes you might get a deed name that is directly insulting of you, right? In which case other Guru will use it whether you like it or not. Kind of like a bad nickname that sticks.
Yeah.
So just wanted to make sure that you know, there is no obligation on anything there, but it was the first one that came out. You have now met the NPC responsible for the deed names thread on Discord.
Oh!
Yay!
I was convinced it was Drops the Mic. I had forgotten we hadn't met this person yet. I was convinced. I was like, of course, Drops the Mic is going to be doing this. But
then suddenly the deed names abruptly end.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
we've killed him, yeah. No, that's much cooler. Because she's a namer?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It was like...
Inexplicable door-related accident.
Yeah, that's Trin's preferred method of killing now.
Oh no.
Throw heavy doors at them.
Bonk.
God.
Does that mean that at one point you're going to be in the bar and then an enemy's going to come in and then Macros is going to be like, Troyan, show him the door, and that's the sign?
Yeah. I know I said
Ballroom
Fucking
Blitz
die.
comes on the jukebox.
I know I
Oh,
said I got
fuck,
like
yes.
a 2x4 under the bar for her melee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But can it actually just be a full door that she just pulls out?
You
No,
just-
it's a 2x4 with door written on it.
Yes, there it
It's
is.
a 2x door
Well, no, now that you've upped your strength, we've replaced the 2x4.
with the door.
Yeah.
Two by
It's
fours.
actually like the door of the fridge that you just rip
Two by
off.
4. Wow.
2x4.
2 by door.
Thank you, everyone.
Like troubadour.
What's happening this week?
What's happening this week? It's almost the end of October, which means it's almost November. It also means that the month traditionally known as Spooky Month is coming to a close. I am not available Tuesday night for my usual stream time. This is for a good reason. However, I didn't want to leave the month without doing some more spooky streams. So, it's already in the Discord. You can click like on the event if you want to be reminded of it. But tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I will be streaming on my own channel, Wild, with some friends. We're going to be playing Demonologist multiplayer. That's the scary one where you hunt ghosts and they scare you? Yeah. Come on down. I die a lot in that game, so you'll have a good time with that. It's always better with friends. 1 o'clock Eastern, Tamale, tomorrow.
I'm still in the middle of a shoot. When I'm in the middle of a shoot, I get very little time. So we'll see if I'm able to pull out a stream. Either a clinic hours. If there is a clinic hours, it will most likely happen on Thursday. Or there's a chance that I may do a stream Friday before other streams occur. We'll see about that. But Discord would be the place to check, because I really would like to do one of those two things. Because we'll see. I mean, like, there's some cool games that got released. There's always clinic hours.
Always.
November 1st is this week. That's the start of National Novel Writing Month. I don't know whether I'll do much writing, but I think I'm gonna have a cozy little hangout and co-work stream Thursday afternoon. Wednesday afternoon, that's the first. Wednesday. So it'll be linked on the Discord, and we'll see what exactly it turns out to be. But yeah, y'all are invited to hang out and do some writing or whatever other
Yay.
things you want to do.
That's so great.
Yay, more
Oh,
cozy
hell
streams.
yeah. Those are great.
Friday, continuing Punch Club 2
Oh.
at 1800 hours on my channel.
That's right. Punching.
Then Saturdag, we are continuing Trouble at Lake Tahoe, 1500. Drew Crew.
Love Drew Crew. It's just, there's too many characters in that book already. I hate it. I love it. I also stream at 5 o'clock Eastern on Saturdays, Doomed, the Arkham Horror living card game online with playthroughs that focus on roleplay and storytelling. You can catch us there if I don't wrap up the previous scenario earlier in the week as well. But of course, the Discord's the place to find out about everything.
Sunday, we'll be back here with episode 9 of RPGClinic's Werewolf, the Apocalypse, Montreal by Moonlight.
Is Sunday daylight savings for us?
Yes, our daylight
next
saving time
Sunday.
doesn't change until late November.
Oh shit, I thought it was this coming Sunday.
I don't-
My bag.
It's the 5th. So yes.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Next
shit.
Sunday.
I lied.
Okay, no, good.
Yeah, so there's going to be another time change. Discord both has the events posted in your local time, and we can use a little command to make the time show up properly for you.
Yeah.
So just double check the times before you.
We'd hate for people to miss out.
Time for me to
The
start
time
waking up.
subterfuge.
10 minutes early every day.
Yeah.
Earlier.
It's
Smart.
Or later.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Later.
I went the
Fall back.
wrong way.
Oh, no! Oh, I would be
2
so
hours
fucked.
off. Yeah.
I'd be so fucked. But thankfully, I'm not fucked because we have safety cards, but also great mods. Thanks a lot to
Aw.
everyone. And Safety Wolf, Kung Fu Fenris for being here, even though you might be Safety Wolf at sea at the moment. Look, if you are listening to us on the YouTube or on the podcasting or the whatnot, trust us, we're glad that you're here, but we still really would like to hear from you in the Discord because that's where we connect with all of you, and connecting with you is what makes this worth it. I have a bunch of DMs to look at. We
Uh-oh.
also have a bunch of food to eat.
Oh,
So I think we're on our way. And that means that we're heading this direction. See you next time.
see you next time.
Bye.
Bye bye.